Hello and welcome to the Black Dog Podcast, episode number 330.
330?
330.
Not 333?
No.
The neighbour of the beast.
Well, it's the one just...
No, the half-size, pocket-size beast.
half-brother of the beast.
Tiny, tiny beast.
Tiny beast. It's like one of the little beasts that sit on your shoulders. Little beast.
Little, tiny.
He's going into Eddie Murphy there.
He's going that
The half-pint demon.
He's got a little tiny hat, like a pitchfork. It's more like a sugar spoon. Sugar spoon. So there we are. Yeah.
It's a spork, isn't it?
It's a spork,
It's a spork.
The spork of the beast.
Spork and Mindy.
So anyway, welcome to episode number 330, the slightly to the left of the neighbour of the beast.
Yep.
And
We are the neighbour of the shindig.
the neighbour of the shindig. Yeah, we're post shindig. This is the first episode of year 9.
Year 9.
8 years
Shut
ago we did it.
up.
We're
Yep.
now into the 9th year. We're heading towards our 9th anniversary. Well, it will be 9 years once we get to this time next year.
It was 9 years and 80 when the apocalypse happened.
Actually, doesn't that make that 8 years? We're on 8 years and we're leading up to the 9th.
It means we're going into the 9th year now. We are now existing in the 9th year.
In
We're
the
on the
9th
next
year.
plane of existence. We are one step further to reaching our final form on our 10th birthday.
Yes, we will evolve
We will
and
into,
sublime,
into our final form.
Super Saiyan, and we'll just rage out.
Yep, we will.
Nice. Anyway, I'm Lee,
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
I'm Elton.
and this week we'll be seeing how everyone's fucking 3 weeks have been. And
And not so much the forerunners of the apocalypse, we're more like the floor lounge chairers of
yeah,
the
that's
apocalypse.
it. Yeah, more like the deck chairers of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
And we'll see how everyone's week's been, and then we'll get on talking about the second film in our shit apocalypse season, our Angela Lansbury apocalypse season. Which
Yes.
is it, Angela Lansbury
No,
or
it's
Jessica Fletcher?
Jessica Fletcher, because Angela
Every
Lansbury's
time.
played
I never made it up. He came up with
Jessica
that.
Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit. Yeah.
Jessica Rabbit. Well, that'd be a totally different podcast altogether.
Yeah.
That would be.
The Jessica the Jessica Rabbit season is starting with Fritz the cat and working our way down.
Is that a pile of Lego I see over there?
That is a pile of Lego over there.
Is it?
Yes, it is. It is my daughter's pile of Lego. If you touch it, she will kill you with the
Oh.
power of her mind.
I just wondered. Cause,
Don't worry,
you know.
we'll sort you out with some Lego. Don't
Thank
worry.
you. I need some Lego.
You need some Lego. We'll
Oh,
sort you out.
there's some Lego over there.
Don't you
rather
dare
I could
touch
break.
that fucking
I could break
Lego.
that down.
Do not touch that Lego. I would
Do
be.
it.
Do
Do
not.
it.
It's fucking nearly 800 pieces worth of fucking Saturn 5 first stage booster, isn't
Well,
it?
there's a grey pile of Lego on top of
You
it up
touch
there.
that and I will kick you
I could-
squarely in the bollocks. You leave my Millennium Falcon alone.
Oh, it's a Millennium Falcon. Oh, right, okay.
Has he knolled the Lego there?
Has he
Is
knolled
all
it?
on the table, carefully knolled.
No, I've been doing it one bag at knolling it one bag at a time.
Ah,
You see?
Knolling it.
Yeah, when you take all the pieces and you lay them flat out and you arrange them,
Oh, God. It's like,
and then and you just take it in.
Square Block 274 in Sector 358.
Exactly.
Have you got like a sheet that you put on the floor with like grid references?
No. I put them on the table. I tell you what.
Okay,
if
have you
go
got
to-
a cloth you put on the table that's got a grid reference on it?
Yeah.
Is that where you put your bits?
Yeah, that's right.
And what about the Lego? Where'd you
Yeah.
put that?
Yeah. Well, you kind of go along and then up and then round and then down and then along and then down again.
Heli Knob, Sector 248.
Yes. Avoid the eye. Avoid the eye. Anyway, so yeah, no. I do the knolling. I do the knolling with something like that. I've got 1,969 pieces.
Fuck it,
1969.
just tip the light out on a bloody table and just go for it.
No.
Just sort for it like any normal person would. You know,
No.
sift through it like that.
No. I'll get you some Lego later. You can have Darren's Craft Corner can come back a bit later.
I'll tell you
on.
what, I could make that into something else if you want. I could
I
turn that.
You know what?
I could turn that
you-
Saturn V rocket into a really
into a death sentence if
into
you
a
touch
death
it.
into a giraffe. Let me turn it into a giraffe with rocket boosters.
Fuck off.
A robo giraffe
I will
with laser beams for eyes.
I will stab you through the heart with a pencil.
And hover discs for hooves.
Hello, I'm Bubbles, the intergalactic dolphin. But anyway.
Giraffe, stage 1.
I am Death Giraffe. I bring you
With laser beams.
death in giraffe form.
Carol, can you just go in the kitchen and get those bags of Lego that he's... I know they're special bags of Lego, but he's a bit special himself. You can't use any.
I am a special person.
Oh my God, there you go. We have a bag of Lego. Oh my God.
I can see why you married her now.
Yes, she's got the Lego. She's got the skills.
Yeah,
There you go.
Lego skills.
So Darren has now got Lego.
Got Lego.
God almighty, does that mean I have to go and find the Darren's Craft Corner?
The return of Darren's Craft Corner.
Right, okay, well before we
Chico's in the Dropbox.
Yeah, I think it's in the Dropbox, exactly.
Still there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Right, okay.
So I'm building... Right, okay. I'm going to build a Land Raider from Damnation Alley.
Hold on. Darren's Craft Corner jingle has disappeared. It's only the PKF.
I've already found John Michael Vincent.
Oh,
Please
God.
tell me he's going to use one of his socks for the bendy bit in the middle.
No. But I found a Weeble, and I'm going to use that as
Okay.
Jan Michael Vincent.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We'll see how everyone's week's been,
Yeah,
or try nearly a month now.
it's nearly a month.
We'll see how everyone's month's been,
Yes.
and then once we get talking about it, and we've
Yes.
done that, and then we start talking about the film,
Yes.
you can get into making yourself a very, because there's wheels in there and everything.
Oh, get
you
out
can
of
make
it, really?
You can make yourself a Damnation Alley tank. All right, and then we'll come back to you with Darren's Craft Corner. All right.
Yep.
Are you having a bit of a crisis?
I've just popped there.
Right, okay, fair enough. Oh God, it's going to be a long night. Well,
It's gonna be a long night.
he's already on it. He's already on the Lego. He's like a demon.
I'm
He's
like
into
a
it.
demon. I'm a Lego demon. Here I go. I'm going in now.
Right. Okay. Fine. Well, anyway, let's see how everyone's week's been.
Lego.
Shut up. Elton, how's your week been, sir?
It was fine. Obviously, we had the thing that we all went to at the
Yes.
weekend, so I'll leave that for everyone. But my daughter had another birthday.
Another?
So,
Another one.
another one. Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
like the Queen.
Oh no,
The
not
Queen.
Maybe a queen in practice. I don't know. But
I'd approve of that.
I've now leveled up into dad mode proper,
Right.
where I'm giving away my versions of tech so that they can have better versions of tech instead of me.
Nice.
And she wanted a phone for her birthday, so she is now the proud owner of an iPhone 6S, I think it is.
What?
Yeah,
And what have you got?
I got the SE.
You hold on. So you got a 5SE, and she's got a
Yeah.
6S.
Yep.
Oh,
I
my
keep telling them that they
God's
have to
sakes.
look after them really well so I can inherit them one day.
Have you seen the picture of that
Because
bloke who's already queued up for the fucking iPhone 8?
Well, yeah. Well, actually, as we're
what a
as we're
What a
talking,
knob.
as we're talking, I mean, don't forget, that we do have coming in, the news that the new iPhone's going up because they're doing, because obviously we're so successful that Apple have actually gone up against us.
Have they?
They got their presentation and the new iPhone going on right now.
Oh,
See, motherfuckers trying to bring us down.
exactly.
So anyway, yeah. So anyway,
Just
Karen.
put some black masking tape over your home button, and woohoo! You've got an iPhone X. Fuck-a-doodle do.
Is that it?
That is it.
Nice. I'm looking forward to finding out about that.
Hold on.
tomorrow.
It won't actually come with the black tape. You'll have to buy the black tape separately. And
Glad
then
you're holding it right.
they'll change the configuration of the black tape at some point, so you'll have to buy it again because that black tape won't be compatible with the your current system. No, it won't. No. You'll have to buy it for another 50 quid
I know we're changing the subject a little bit, but I did see someone on the bus wearing one of those the ear pods, and he spent more time trying to keep them in his ears than he did actually listening to anything.
Waste of fucking time.
Well,
Seriously.
But anyway, go on. Sorry, Elton, carry on.
No, that's fine. I also, because she had her birthday, I also live in a world where I haven't seen Dunkirk, but I have seen the Emoji Movie.
That's
what
we're in. This is the hell dimension. We've got proof now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it, isn't it? I mean, Donald Trump being president is one thing.
Yeah.
You know, Korea aiming to throw nuclear weapons at people, that's another. But in a world where a man who is making a podcast about Band of Brothers is actually seeing
Dunkirk.
Is seeing the Emoji Movie before seeing Dunkirk.
Actually, I think you'll probably be left more traumatized by watching the Emoji Movie than you would be by watching Dunkirk.
Yeah, in different ways, though.
Yeah, in different ways.
I suspect in many, many different ways than what you're actually thinking of at the moment. Yeah, that's
bad news.
I'm not even going to grace it with a review. I think we all should know what it's like. But you know, daughter's birthday and stuff like that. She says, "Well, it goes." So that's the way things are.
I think the phrase "You got an iPhone 6s, pirate the fucker."
Yeah, do it.
You got the tech, my love. Do it. Make your own Emoji Movie.
I think you could do better.
And what else have I done? I've just completed Black Sails season 3.
Right.
I'm thoroughly enjoying that. I know that it's all over now. I have season 4 to go, but I'm enjoying the shit out of that.
What is Black Sails for those of us who don't know?
It's pirates on boats, isn't it?
Pirates and shit. Nice.
Yeah, pirates on boats. Captain Charles Vane, Flint, Long John Silver, and
Uncle Tom Cobley.
Rackham.
Rackham.
Red
Rackham.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
So nice. And what about was it Gina Davis in Cutthroat Island? Is she in it?
Benny from Crossroads.
Totally lost me there.
Sorry, you were just listing off pirates. So I just thought Gina Davis. She's in Cutthroat Island. I just thought she might have turned up.
No. Yeah. Okay, abort.
Okay,
fire all cannons now. Fire them now.
Fire them all. So, and you thoroughly enjoying this, by the way?
I am. I'm surprised. I am. I decided to watch this. It was a toss up between this and Vikings, and I think I'll be hitting Vikings after this.
Okay,
I've heard
I
very
like
good
Vikings.
things about.
Yeah, Vikings is very good.
I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched.
Yeah, I thought.
I've not seen the other half of season 4 yet, but I mean, I was quite addicted to it, watching it. So
right,
and
so addicted you haven't seen the other half.
No, because everything else got in the way. But,
nice.
The character of Lagertha is quite nice.
Mm. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, but I would recommend it. It's good fun. It's nice, easy fun. So yeah, I would recommend it.
Cool. Anything else, sir?
Nah, that'll do ya.
All right. Okay, then we'll move on to Jim. How are you then, sir?
I'm very good, thank you. Just about fully recovered.
That's good.
Against excesses.
Yeah, it was a bit excessive, wasn't it, in places?
It certainly was.
Yes. Other than that, what the hell have I been doing? I think I raced all my brain cells.
That's right.
In the intervening weeks. So I've been to the dentist a lot. Apparently, I need a lot of dental work doing.
Oh,
which
Christ.
The knock-on effect of, well, I've got lots of teeth coming out. This means I don't have recording time, so I've got to really get on top of my schedule and have shows done a long way in advance for the next couple of months, just in case I'm left unable to speak.
Well, if you're going to
for
do
long periods of time. So.
If you're going to do that, why don't you just go the whole hog and just have all of them taken out? It's probably easier.
Well, it's nearly that.
Oh my God, really?
Seriously, yeah.
Oh shit!
I think it's about taking about 9. They've been drilled and filled that many times. They've got to go. So I've got an uncomfortable few months coming up.
I'm already wincing. I'm wincing from the future on that one. Oh,
yeah. The thing is, I had a nice old dentist who was a lovely old man, and when I went away on holiday to France, one of my crowns fell out. So you know. Came back, I rang the dentist, and apparently he's retired. Oh dear, that's sad. I'll miss him. He was a nice old man. So a new dentist, and he's like, bloody hell, how long is it since you came to a dentist? Now, I was here 3 months ago for a checkup. And he's just tutting and making sounds of disbelief. That dear.
Oh,
he was ready to retire, wasn't he? I think he missed a lot that was going on.
Yep. He couldn't give a fuck. I don't care. I'm out of here. I'll just grab my saga brochures and I'm gone.
Yeah. That sweet NHS checkup money. Shit. Oh, God.
Yeah,
You're fine, Mr.
That's not going to be fun. I'm not looking forward to that.
No, I don't blame you. That's fucking awful.
Are you sure he's got it right? I mean, it's not like, you get some engineers in or if you can call them engineers, in garages where they kind of say that there's more wrong with your car than there actually is. They
did offer me a second opinion, but it's kind of... I saw the X-rays, so...
right.
He showed me on the X-rays.
And they definitely were your
X-rays.
X-rays.
Hole nearly to the root. It's going to have to go. Oh, God, there we go.
Oh, shit.
So, not looking forward to that. In happier news... the week before the shindig, went out to see the Limehouse Golem.
Oh, I saw that.
I really enjoyed.
Right.
And afterwards, we stopped off at a local pub for one of their very fine lamb shanks.
Nice.
And ran into a listener, Mr. Nathan O'Connor.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Have we been nice to him?
That was nice. It was like a pre-shindig warm-up.
Nice.
Yeah, have we been good to him?
Have we been good to him? Did he...
Yes, we have, I believe.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Excellent.
We're good, yeah. So that was nice. Other than that, I've just been very busy despite trying to get ahead, people keep fucking dying. Jumping me, just kind of like, oh, shit.
It's going to get worse. As the years go on. I mean, it's literally Hypnagoria is just going to be called the Guardian obituary pages, isn't it?
Getting that way. It's one a month at the minute. It's appalling.
Shit,
it really is.
Oh, God. Oh well,
never mind.
There you go.
John Carpenter, just hang on till next year, please.
Yeah, I was going to say he's got.
Cronenberg's got a few years left in him, but other than that,
yeah, Cronenberg, Carpenter. I mean, I don't know.
Next week it could be Ridley Scott, Lee?
Could be next week, but I'm afraid I won't be around to take that shot. No. Sorry, he's doing a screening of Blade Runner, and it's at the IMAX, and it's the IMAX version of the original Blade Runner. He was going to do a Q&A, and I told Darren,
so he's going to you stand up going, why?
Fucking why? Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to be in Leeds, so I can't do it.
Are you?
No. So
he'll still be able to hear you from there.
Oh, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he's been hearing me through the power of my mind raging on him for the last 20 years. So just the power of hatred, just attacking him over the psychic network. But anyway, so anything else, sir?
I think that'll do. As probably all got a.
Yeah.
I'll probably flash back in later for the.
I was going to say the shindig talk. Yeah, yeah. So what about you, Mr. B?
Me? Well, I've been all over the shop. I've been up to York visiting a friend up there. On the way back, it was like the York races were in full swing. And I'm sitting there at a bus stop waiting for the coach to come in. And I'm noticing there's a lot of people dressed in suits who don't actually normally dress in suits. And you can tell they don't normally dress in suits because it's like somebody's photoshopped their head onto somebody else's body. And it's like, you don't normally dress like that, do you?
No.
Yeah, you're. I can tell you don't go to many races because you've gone a bit over the top there.
Right.
So, yeah, that was fun. But it's been my birthday.
Been your birthday.
It's been my birthday.
And how many millennia are you now?
How many millennia? I'm in my 460 seconds regeneration.
How's it going, Ra's al Ghul? Have you come out the Lazarus pit yet?
Certainly, only last week I came out. As you can tell, it's getting less and less effective because I get older and older. As it's getting to the end, it's not going to be worth it. So because I'm like, I'm only 5 minutes younger than I was. I've been in there for 2.5 hours. What's going on here then?
Yeah. So cool.
So yeah, much drink has flowed.
Yes.
I got treated to birthday lunch by Anne-Marie Org. She took me out for that.
Nice.
And then there was more birthday lunches after that. I just had a few of them there, which was nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I went out for drinkies with all and sundry apart from yourself.
Yeah, well, that's because I was off having an anniversary.
Yes, you
19th wedding anniversary.
Yes, you were.
Yes,
you was having one of those.
I was having one of those, which I'll get to in a minute because I had interesting interaction with chili dish in the Indian. Yeah,
explosive body.
No, more like throttling myself, but it's fine.
Right.
Just carry on. Go on.
So no, it was good to see everybody there that night.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we had the shindig, which we will talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on me now to deliver on this shindig report because
everyone's
passing on.
Make us laugh, comedy monkey.
Yeah, dance. Go on in. Anything else?
Let's see. What can I tell you?
Did you see a film?
Yes, I went to see a film.
Yes,
I went.
In
fact, I saw 2 movies.
Yes,
in that time,
yes.
I went and saw The Hitman's Bodyguard.
Right.
Last week, which was absolutely brilliant. Loved it. It was really, really good. Very, very funny.
Okay.
And I've got to say, if they make a comedy film about Cupid, Samuel Jackson should be playing Cupid because I think he'd be really good in the role.
Okay.
It's a very sweary Cupid.
Okay,
that's what they need.
Is this the similar thing to The Rock being Tooth Fairy?
No. It's just how the story in the Hitman's Bodyguard goes. It's very funny. Right. Ryan Reynolds and him just bounce off one another just brilliantly.
Yeah.
And makes a change in that film. Right, Samuel Jackson is actually the more cheerful one in it. Ryan Reynolds is quite the sort of
misery
straight
guts.
up. Not so much misery guts. He's got like a certain set of rules that he follows.
Yeah.
Basically, what it is, he plays a hitman who was a bodyguard who was like top of his game, and then something happens that kind of has a knock-on effect to his career, and it kind of lowers him down the ladder until he ends up having to protect Sam Jackson, who's basically on the run from this tyrant who rules Belarus.
Yeah.
Basically, he's like into
like a drugs baron or something.
No,
like
he's more into things
boss.
like ethnic cleansing and stuff like this.
Oh, right.
So like executing people in pits and stuff like that.
Okay.
So but highly recommend it. If you go and see it, there is there's an excellent bit where Sam Jackson has to he's trying to leap off a roof to get to this scaffolding. It's the result is absolutely brilliant.
I think that's in one of the trailers. Is that the tink tink
yeah,
tink tink
motherfucker?
Okay.
You know that phrase, hitting every branch on the ugly tree on the way down?
Yeah.
It's basically that.
Cool.
So it's a good fun film. And Salma Hayek's in it as well.
Yeah.
Playing Jackson's wife.
Yeah.
And she's a very sweary Salma Hayek in this one. You know, you've not seen her in any other role like this before.
Right.
She's quite a tough cookie in this one.
Okay.
So that was fun.
Cool.
And then there is the film that we both have seen.
Yep.
Which was Stephen King's It.
That's right.
And I'm really, really disappointed because I didn't see Moss or Roy in it at all. It's like, not even
Fire.
No.
Exclamation mark.
Oh dear.
Fire.
There seems to be a spirit underneath the sewers. What are we going to do? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What did you think of it?
What did I think of it? I thought it was all right. The guy who plays the clown, Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård. Yeah.
I thought he was suitably creepy. I didn't think the film was frightening. I thought it was creepy more than anything else.
Yeah, see, this is where you and me differ, because I found that the thing with the flute, fuck that noise.
Well, the thing that got me about the probably the worst thing about this film is the fact that the director of photography does not understand that if there is a major conflict happening on screen, you have to be at least 30 fucking foot away from it. Right? Because otherwise it just becomes Transformers, and all it is like a bunch of rolled up bloody coat hangers.
Yeah.
Just roll them across the floor like that. All right, there you go. But have the camera following the rolled up fucking coat hangers.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need to be right up in people's grills when they're having the fucking grill punched out. Okay,
Yeah.
You need to be away from that so you can see what character is doing what to whoever.
To whom, yeah.
You know, because otherwise it's just a complete and utter mess. And I'm sitting there watching it thinking, who's doing what? You know, oh, somebody's chopped something off. This person's poked this something in the eye.
Have you read the book?
No.
Okay.
I've not
Just
read the book.
interested, that was all. Sorry.
No, I know that there is a certain scene from the book
No,
that's been
that's fine. It's
that's
gone.
been cut out.
Yeah.
So, and to tell you the truth, I personally didn't. Yeah, I watched it and it was like, well, the resolution there was,
Yeah.
you know, good enough.
Well,
You didn't need it.
Yeah, that's there's probably a whole podcast that could go into that particular scene, but you'd need to read the book because it does have a context. But
Yeah.
I'm not getting into. I am not touching that one with a barge pole.
No, I think they get far too many complaints.
Yeah, exactly.
Considering what it is. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from there.
We know the second one's on its way.
Yeah, because it's only the first half of the book.
Yes.
So,
well, it's not. It's actually a really weird thing because it's actually the book itself flip flops between two time zones.
oh, it does.
So it starts off in the past because the past in the book is like the 1950s, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah.
And they've
The
modernised.
thing in the book is the adults don't remember, and it's as the adults are going through their storyline, they actually start remembering what they did as kids.
That's right.
So the two stories sort of weave in and out of
interlink.
each other.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so you get like almost like a Chaucer's sort of Canterbury Tales thing, where you kind of go to each character and then you get their sort of version of events,
Got you.
leading them back into the modern day. And this film just takes all of that away.
It does.
Yeah, because essentially you don't go into go into our what I would call our modern day. You just see just see the past.
Was it 1989?
Yeah, but
In
you know
this one.
the plan is the idea is still the same because it's still that whole thing of because in the book they come together in the 1980s
Yeah.
as adults, so putting it in the 1950s as kids, so it's a bit Stand By Me kind of thing.
Well, this is still very Stand By Me. In fact, I sat there thinking, you know what, this is I can see its influences on Stranger Things, and then I realised, one of the kids from Stranger Things is actually in this.
Yes, he
So
is.
that's why I'm thinking Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I've not seen it, but I would say that I've seen several people, clowns, online, criticise them and going, "Oh, she's ripping off Stranger Things." It's
Yeah.
kind of get your timeline right, cunt.
It's like them saying that,
There's a lot of
First
it in
one of our
Stranger
return.
Things.
Yeah.
Fine.
they had that with John Carter when they're going on about like the whole
Star
battle
Wars.
sequence. Yeah, and it's just like, you do know this was written like a good few fucking decades before Star Wars was even bloody well thought of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
No, I mean, anyway, so, I mean...
or saying The Hobbit is a rip-off of Game of Thrones or something like that. So, you fucking cunt.
Yeah, bloody millennials.
Exactly.
Anyway, don't do their fucking research.
No.
Um,
So, on
yes.
the TV front,
yes.
I started watching Orphan Black
Okay.
because I got recommended that as well by someone.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm just coming to the end of the first season now.
Yep.
It's only like about 10 episodes long, but yeah, it's kind of got me hooked. And it's there's a certain actor that's shown up in it that's nice to see. He's still getting work.
Really?
Yeah, Matt Frewer.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so
I
Matt
thought
Frewer.
you were going to say Ben Bowder.
No, no. This is not a Ben Bowder show. But the actress who plays the lead role, has to roles. It's just amazing the way she switches between these characters, these different personalities, and it's like, why have we not seen more of her in other stuff? Because this is just
she's
like
been making Orphan Black for the last 10 years.
Well, it's over now. It's was it 5 seasons? So it's finished.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that is her CV right there on screen. That just she could just go, here you go, here's a box set, have a watch of that. This is what I can do.
Nice.
So yeah, I think was it Tatiana Marsale? I think her name is. Yeah.
I'm not even going to touch that name with a barge pole again because my pronunciations of things aren't shit.
But no, she's very good, and yeah, so far so very good.
Cool, excellent. It?
Yeah,
cool.
I think so.
Excellent. Well, you can get on with your Lego now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'll let you go.
Thank you.
Go on, off you go.
Let's see if we've got any Lego building instructions.
Lego building instructions. Look at him looking at his Lego building instructions, fool. That's cheating. What are you looking at now? Why are you squinting like that?
Sorry, it's just that I'm organising to go out tomorrow night, so I was just put that as a gift. Just.
Oh God, cable guy. Right. Okay. Yeah. So my week. Well, my fortnight and a week. Well, I had I had wedding anniversary, 19th wedding anniversary, which meant Carol and I actually got out of the house together without the kids.
Wow.
Which was a good start. This is a good thing. We went for a curry. Went for an Indian, which was very nice. We went to this place we've only been to once before, and it doesn't do the usual stuff. It doesn't just do your chicken tikka masalas, and it doesn't just do your sort of your keema naans and garlic naans and all this kind of thing.
What was it called, the restaurant?
Oh God, what was it called again? I can't remember. I'll have to dig the name up, but it's up. Oh, the Rajmoni up in up in Plaistow Lane.
Oh, right, okay.
And basically, they have all these different things. So I thought, well, I'm here. This is let's not look through the menu and look for a chicken tikka masala equivalent. Let's try and look for something new.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, you know what? We've got big beers because they sell the big old jugs of beer. And I'm like, right, we've got big beers. You know what I'm going to go for? I'm going to go for this thing called South Indian Garlic Chili Chicken. And I'm thinking, oh, that sounds good. And apparently it's like layers of garlic and layers of chili and layers of chicken in a sort of onion and tomato sauce, which sounds very nice.
It does.
And you know what? It bloody was nice. The only thing that really they didn't quite inform you, because the guy went, you sure you want this? And I'm like, yeah, well, I don't want a vindaloo or anything like that. I don't want to go super hot. And he goes, well, this has got a bit of a kick. And I'm like, yeah. And Carol's going, yeah, he's had chili stuff before. He's fine. So get this thing. Turns up, and I cut through it, and it literally is like someone's actually slithered garlics and split them. Oh, wow. So it's like butterflies of very thin slices of garlic.
Yeah.
But what you don't see underneath it is the similar thing has been done to very small red chilies. And so what I've done is I've dived in, I've taken a bite, and I was talking as I was doing it, sort of saying something to Carol, and I took a breath, and I went, and this thing hit the back of my throat, and I literally was like...
You're not supposed to inhale the food, Lee. You're supposed to eat it and digest it.
It was like, what was going on in the back of my throat was like when they cut the knuckle of the facehugger and it goes through the nostromo. It was just like... and like... And Carol's like eating a little mushroom and chicken thing, and it's like... She's like, this is quite nice. No. Meanwhile, like, my eyes are kind of filling up with blood. And I'm like... So that was nice.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Once I managed to get that chili dislodged from my esophagus, it was fine. The rest of it was fine. So, yeah, but otherwise, good time had boy. Oh. At least I was saying that. Carol hasn't thrown anything at me yet, so I'm presuming that is the case. She's... The look on her face.
That was a sneer and a half.
That was a sneer, yeah. I'm fairly sure that...
I think Elvis Presley would have been proud of that sneer.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure that, like, after 24 years of being together, I think the shine's kind of worn off I'll be honest with you. Yeah. Okay. Right.
There we
Anyway,
go.
moving on. I've got my Cineworld card, so I am fucking using it.
Excellent
You have
stuff.
no idea. I've gone and seen the Limehouse Golem,
Okay.
which I liked in the main. I just didn't like the blimey governor chom chomany chom aspect of it.
Right. Okay.
There's a few characters who have backstories that were quite interesting, and you want to really delve into that. Basically, it's sort of like the it's like the Jack the Ripper thing, isn't it, Jim? Essentially, it's a Ripper murder style thing, Penny Dreadful kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like From Hell,
Yes,
the graphic novel, not From Hell, the film.
yes, very much so. And yeah, and I enjoyed it, but there was certain characters who, let's just say, it was a bit ripe.
Bit ripe.
Yeah, it's just everyone was just a bit. You could turn the sort of like good old days TV show and just push it up to 11.
Right.
And like Eddie. What's his name? Who's the guy who played? He played the theatre owner, Jim. I can't remember his name. Weasley guy with the pebbly
it was
glasses.
Uncle.
Yeah, it was Uncle. Yeah.
I can't remember now.
Yeah, on the spot. Never mind. It was overall. It was pretty good, I think. But
It looks good from the
is
preview.
Yeah, it's just the problem was that occasionally it just tipped over a little bit into too theatrical for me. Which, given the fact it's all based around a theatre,
Yeah.
and I kind of felt it was a bit too BBC One Sunday night drama.
Was it actually financed by the BBC by any chance?
I don't think so. I don't know. I'd have to check. But so there was lots of really good acting, and then there was lots of moments where, like, every time Bill Nighy would go to visit this woman who's been supposedly wrongly accused of murdering her husband,
Yeah.
he'd go in and there'd be this sort of real London dungeons kind of grim, dripping water, rats everywhere, and she'd be looking like someone's just spent like 7 hours in the makeup chair. And she's standing in a beam of light looking lovely. It's like, you've been in this fucking jail for like about a week.
It's obviously
It looked
well
like-
kept.
Yeah.
Actually, though, at that time, jails didn't operate how they do now.
No?
No. The condition of your cell depended how much you could pay.
Well, a cell didn't...
There's a very interesting old prison you can go around. You find out the bottom cells are like the dungeons, and you find there's quite actually plush apartments in the top floor where the top brass paying prisoners used to stay.
Yeah.
like
a hotel you just couldn't leave.
Nice. Hotel California.
I was going to say that. It sounds familiar.
Nice.
Was it on a dark desert highway? Did you feel...
Yeah.
Exactly.
But interestingly, you say that, Jim. Though that did tell me, did that jail look like a top floor flat apartment?
They were the holding cells were before court, though.
Yeah, I know. It was just quite funny though. It was just like you see, you'd be like proper serious gothic kind of dripping everything. Even to the point where you could almost hear Michael Palin upside down with a big beer go, "You lucky bastards!" And
it's like the Hannibal cell in Silence of the Lambs.
Exactly, and
it's kind of like. Yeah, I prefer the Brian Cox version where it was like more like it would be in real life, just a white hospital room.
Yeah,
you really can't get out of.
and she's standing there looking like someone's just done her up for an Avon ad. I mean, it's just like, wow, okay, she's all luminous, glowing, beautiful clothes. And it's like, so there was a couple of moments like that where I kept going, and then there was a bit where they go into a Baldy Sing song in the actual theatre, and again, I'm sure that historians and people who are more into that culture and know more about it would get more out of it. But I just kept listening to them go. And then I went up the railroad. You can almost hear something.
Railroad?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, blimey, governor running down the street, and he got hold of my railroad. rude, and sort of thing. It's kind of like
is that a euphemism?
Yeah, by the end of it,
They're all euphemisms.
They're all euphemism. Yeah, he's in and out me tunnel. He's up the road. It's all that sort of thing. And got hold of me jellied eels. It's like, really.
And then he had sex with me.
Yeah. And there's
right.
But it was. You were just waiting to hear sort of honk. So those bits were a little bit ripe for me. But I mean, like I say, overall pretty good. I saw It as well.
Yes.
Which I thought was pretty darn good. I mean, like I say, I was more taken with the what?
Sorry, I've got to say, when when I went to see it,
Yeah.
I walked into the cinema, right? This is like 2 minutes before the film's supposed to start, and they're already past the credits. Or they're into the bit with, the first scene. I'm thinking, the fuck is this? Right? So then they suddenly stopped that, and the screen went blank, because they've suddenly realised that...
Oh, shit, we haven't sold your popcorn yet.
Yeah. And then they played all the adverts, but as they're doing that, they've zoomed right in. So all the text is being cut off from the bottom and the top. I had to go out at least twice to play about the fucking screen. It's like, put your fucking ratio right, you...
Oh, right, fair enough.
Yeah, they finally did it. I was tempted to turn around and say, have you tried switching it off and on again? But no, wrong IT.
Wrong IT.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw that. I thought the kids' bits were a lot better than the scary bits, because the scary bits... I mean, I liked...
the kids were brilliant.
The kids
the
and
actors.
everything like that was brilliant. The bit with the bits with the clown were really well done. I especially like the fact that Bill Skarsgård can actually make one of his eyes slowly drift off to the right.
Do you know what that is? That's actually probably the contact lens.
No, he actually was able to do it.
Really?
When people can control their eyes, like I can do that kind of thing, or you can. And he was just he just kept doing this thing where one eye kept focusing on the kids, and the other eye would just slowly drift off, as if something's controlling Pennywise, as opposed to Pennywise actually being the thing. I thought that was really nicely done, and there was a couple of really nice scares which I don't think a lot of people spotted. Like, all I'll say for those of you who are going to watch it, when you see the larger kid in the library, and he's talking to he's reading the history of Derry.
Oh, that bit.
All I'm saying
that
is
was good.
Just keep an eye in the background. No, you thinking of the actual scare.
I'm
talking about
but...
keep an eye on the background. The background, it was like, it took me a second, and I just looking at it, I'm thinking, hang on.
Because I know there was if you listen, if you're actually listening to the film properly, there is there's a bit when somebody walks into a house, and it's what is playing on a television.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But like I say, in the library, I say, I will not give it away. But when there's a scene in the library, don't just focus on the kid, because the music is telling you something's going on, and watch the background. Just watch the background. And I was just like,
watch out for that one.
I was just like,
Friday.
Oh, okay.
Right.
But overall, I liked it. The only thing I didn't like was it kind of tried to ramp up the scares towards the end, and it felt like it was going boo, boo, boo. And by the time you jumped at the first boo, the second boo's coming along going boo, and you're like, yeah, give me a second, boo. Oh no, I didn't jump at that one. Boo, 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 and it's like fucking. It just turned into noise. But overall, as an adaptation, I think it's much better than the Tim Curry version.
Yeah,
I do.
Cool. Well, it's probably because it takes long. How long's the original TV?
It's two 2-hour films, isn't it?
Well, the original.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So this is basically the same then.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Okay. So I'm going to be interested to see where it goes.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, and I saw another horror film called The Wailing, a South Korean horror film, which at its heart is a good idea. However, it has the same problem as The Host. Have you seen The Host?
No,
with the big froggy monster.
I've got The Host, or it's on Netflix as well.
Yeah.
So,
have you seen The Host, Jim?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about South Korean movies, and maybe it's just it's clearly a cultural thing now. But if you're going to have a horror film, and in the case of The Host, a monster film, but if you're going to have a horror film, don't keep trying to throw it to comedy. And not just slight comedy, but proper slapstick comedy.
Blatant comedy.
Yeah, proper stupid comedy. And then suddenly tried to scare us with your atypical sort of Asian horror, J-horror, creepy girl in black and white sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what's going on there?
No, it's all right. I'm just make sure my phone is on silent. Okay, that was all. Sorry, I just noticed it wasn't.
That's cool. And it's just like, yeah. And then it gets about halfway through the film, and the tone shifts, and it makes you think that everything you thought up to this point is wrong.
It's bullshit.
And then it suddenly gets about another 30 minutes towards the end of the film, and then just goes, actually, you know what? You were right all along. And then you go back, and you kind of like, hold on, I've got another 40 minutes of this fucking film. I thought it ended twice already.
Oh, so it's the Lord of the Rings. It's the what's the last one called?
Return of the King.
Return of the King.
But it's about a village. It's about a village that's slowly succumbing to this weird madness. That people will get a rash, and then they go fucking nuts, and usually take out most of their family with them. Right. And everyone's blaming this Japanese guy who's moved into the town. And they all blame him. And it's like, so the whole story subtext is about xenophobia. Yeah. And about, like, the other just moved into this little local town, and now everyone's going nuts, and they're blaming this guy because he just moved in. But you following this cop, and this cop is the most uncop-like cop you've ever seen in your entire life. There's a scene, and I'm not giving too much away, but there's a scene where he actually gets proof, solid, hard, evidence proof, that someone is involved with this thing, and this whole thing. It's right there in his face, fucking standing there. He's got a gun. He's got a mate with him. He's got this person banged to rights. I won't say who because that's part of the mystery, but he's got this person banged to rights. He's got all the evidence right in front of him, and then it just cuts to the pair of them running away like a pair of scared kids, going, "Ah!" It's like, what? And then they leave it a week and then come back to the person's place and go, "Where's that evidence?"
Yeah.
And the person goes, "Well, I burnt it." And they go, "Where's the ashes?" And he goes,
"I
ashes for what?" Exactly. But he's like, what? What the fuck? And you find yourself just going, oh, God, this film should have ended 90 minutes ago, but we're still going because cops won't collect evidence or arrest people for suspicion of murder. And yet you look on the fucking line and it's like 99% Rotten Tomatoes, everyone's giving it 5 stars, really creepy, and it's not. It's just not. It's just different. I think everyone just wanted to jump on the bandwagon to find the next new Ringu before everyone else did.
Yeah.
Other than that, the shindig.
Yes, the shindig.
Let's get to this.
The dig of Shin.
The dig of Shin. What a good time.
Yes, what an absolutely
Did everyone else
night.
have a good time, gents?
I had a wonderful night. It was over too quickly, as always.
Yeah, well, exactly, because someone kicked us out the bloody pub.
Yeah, exactly. What was all that about?
What was all that about? A security guard just turned up.
And they said, "Can you leave?"
Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, time to go." He's like, "What?
Really?
Yeah, really?"
Everybody downstairs was really enjoying themselves. There was, and it's like, why are we having to go now?
Anyway, so, but anyway, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who came.
Yes.
Made it really cool. I'd like to say thank you to Chris. I can't remember your surname, so you're going to have to forgive me, but Chris gave me a lovely little nomad from Mass Effect Andromeda.
Ooh.
She's sitting on my shelf up here. There it is. It's lovely.
Oh,
lovely.
That was
really nice.
That was the one you were wearing on your crotch.
Yes, this was the one I was wearing on my crotch.
Look at my nomad.
Look at the size of my nomad.
It's the laughing nomad.
Yeah. So that was lovely. That's really, really kind of him. That was lovely. Thank you very much for that, Chris. I think it was Chris Powell. Is it Powell?
Yes.
Powell? And then I'd like to thank Daniel. And Daniel turned up. And at first I didn't know who he was. And then it turns out that on the Facebook group, he's called Don't Block Me, Lee. I'm not a spammer. I'm a listener. Or I'm a listener, not a spammer.
Right, okay.
Because I've been kicking people out who have no Facebook profile at all when they try and join the Facebook groups. And he's obviously tried to join the Facebook group 3 times under 3 different names. One which was his name, then one which was his gamer name or something, and then the last one was like a desperate attempt to try and get on going, don't block me, Lee. And it was like...
He's changed his whole profile just so that you will not block him.
Well, you see, you thought that was it, but then it turned out he drove all the way from Amsterdam.
What?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Fucking hell. Amsterdam?
Amsterdam. He did like 400 odd kilometres down to a ferry, and then did like another 400 odd kilometres from the ferry to London.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and he brought sweets as well. Lovely sweets,
beautiful,
very nice. Yeah, the sugar paper stuff when we were
Oh,
all
that the one
sugar
you
paper.
yeah, the one I had about 3 or 4 sheets of from your collection.
Yeah,
Oh,
one.
hello.
Yeah, and then you became one sheet.
I became one sheet. And you became fuck you. That's what you became, all right? Yeah, that's right. I've got your fucking sheet right here,
Yeah,
sunshine.
one sheet. And yeah, no, it was good to see everyone. Good to catch up with as many people. If I didn't get to talk to you for more than like 5 seconds, then I apologise. And then thank you to Mark Last for bringing the Baco foil for Elton's silver hat.
Although it turned into a bit more than that. It turned into Lee the Silver Surfer.
Well, yeah, I became...
Or is it Poe the Silver Surfer?
Doth bit you on the bottom, didn't it?
It did doth bit me on the bottom, but then, you know, I did manage to make a silver cock hat for everyone.
Yes, you did.
And everyone wore it before realising what they looked like with it on. So that was quite good, and I got photographs of that, which is all on the Facebook group and also under the Shindig page. And yeah, then I was wearing it on my head, and then I can't remember who it was at first, but decided to continue the hat down my face and then around my entire body till I looked like, well, I looked like Blue Peter tried to make a Cyberman on a budget.
You look like a 1970s vision of what a sex toy would be like in the 23rd century. Just all silver. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were Buck Rogers'
Yeah.
sex toy.
At one point, I tried to tear it all off, and I grabbed the shoulder bits, and then when I looked at the photographs, it looked like I was wearing a tin foil sort of like apron.
You've made a hip hop pose as well at one point. Like,
Yeah.
that's the album cover. That is.
That is, yes, straight out of Trumpton, wasn't it? We did.
Straight out of Bedlam, more like.
Yeah. And obviously we had an appearance by Mr. Owl.
We certainly did.
Yeah, did he actually cause much damage, Jim?
He helped himself to several people's drinks.
No, I bet he did.
Several heads were pecked.
Nice.
It was established because it reminds him of eggs, and he thinks he has rivals. So,
well, I was going to say there was.
If you're thin on top and you're coming to the next shindig, do beware of that. Again, like Lee, I tried to speak to as many people as I could, and if I didn't catch you or you didn't get to speak to me for long, I am sorry, but it's the nature of shindigs. I do try and circulate as much as possible, but just so little time and so many interesting people to talk to.
Yeah, it was really cool. And Elton was walking around with what looked like some sort of James Bond Rubik Cube thing. What the fuck was that?
Oh, that was my little Polaroid cube.
Your Polaroid cube?
Yeah, my little video camera.
Really?
Yeah.
Not in its usual place, languishing in the ladies' toilets. Then.
No. I got scuppered on that one. That was quickly removed.
Dear, oh dear. So, overall, it was a really good evening. It was really good to see so many people and so many new faces. Alan Wilby, Daniel, obviously, from Amsterdam. Chris came back. I think we've seen Chris once when we were at the Ship and Shovel, so it was good to see him again. It was good to catch up with Gillian and Dave, though I didn't catch up with them for very long. And then there was, just so many people there.
Yeah, number 2 listeners, Pete and M, turned up as well.
Oh yeah, Pete, I got to thank because he's going to get Andy very cross because he's given me a loophole for.
Yes,
Space
he
Time.
has.
Yeah.
I said to him, "Oh, your least favourite person now."
Yeah, I did thank him. I did thank him rather
Yeah.
profusely. So yeah, we'll worry about that another time.
Yeah, take that, Andy.
He's not going to be happy. So yeah, so that's that. And anybody else got anything to say about the shindig? Because I was going to just wrap it up, but I'm
I would say that I had my first Uber joint cab on the way home, which was a weird experience.
Or as you called it, a can.
Yeah,
so
can.
I'm reliably informed.
yes.
It took me 2 days to realise I'd written can.
That was a bit odd. It was just suddenly seeing like I'm in the can with Laura, and it was like, what?
Rewriting Bowie, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in the can with Laura. I'm going for a poo.
We're sharing one sheet of paper. We should be sharing two. Anyway,
Brilliant.
anyway.
David Bowie would have written that. He would have gone onto his random lyric generator, and that would have been
David Bowie randomizer.
No, it's true. He actually said that in an interview that he, first of all, it was like he used to pick stuff out of a tombola, give another spin on the tombola, but now he's got a computer program that does this shit for him.
Well, now he hasn't.
Well, not now, but he had a computer program that did all this shit for him. Yeah,
Right.
He actually said that came from his lips.
Sparkly winkle in the rice.
Oh, little flap of cheese. Why are you wearing a trilby hat?
Okay. Yes, I've fallen down the stairs again. The haddock isn't well.
I seem to have tripped on the lilo.
Anyway, right. Well, so thank you very much to everyone who came to the shindig. It was really good to see you all. Really good time had by all. And
and thanks to Dave Baker for the late birthday present as well.
yeah, it seemed to be like thing for late birthday presents. I mean,
Yes,
yeah.
he got me a quite a relevant little gift. It was a Deathstroke. Was it a box set? It was an Arrow 2-figured box set of Arrow himself and Deathstroke.
Nice
As well in the box, which
Nice.
is absolutely superb. So I'm just finding shelf space to stick those two up so they can glare
Nice.
at one another across a room.
Lovely.
So yes.
Lovely. Right. Cool. Okay. So, anybody else got anything else to add, or we shall move on to this cocking film?
Let's move on to the cocking film.
Let's move on to the cocking film.
There'll be no refund for your time if you decide to take part. These films are well known to be lethal, more toxic than a silent fart. You'll want to set your head aflame, but you've only got yourself to blame. It's shit cover goggles on Black Dog, baby. A steaming pile upon your screen, baby. It's shit cover goggles on Black Dog, baby. Now slowly slide the gun into your mouth.
Right. Okay. Well, before we get going on that, I think we should check in with
Darren's Craft Corner.
Yeah, Darren's Craft Corner returns, and Darren, what's going on with the Lego right now?
Well, I'm building the Land Raider Dominator thing from and in tribute to the film we've been watching.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to build the Land Raider
Right.
From Damnation Alley.
From Damnation Alley. Yeah. And how's that progressing so far?
Well, I've got a flat bit with some wheels on it.
Right.
That's about it so far.
Flat bit with some wheels on it.
Yeah, but I've got a door for the back.
You have a door for the back.
It opens like a normal. In fact, it is actually a door that you'd find on a house.
It is a house door with windows.
It's not. I mean, I might be able to find another way of making it. Oh, I found a hinge.
Found a hinge.
Here we go.
He's found a hinge. Okay,
there.
I'm going to just take this stuff apart. Yeah.
Are you okay with that? Yeah,
I'm fine with that, and you just leave me be.
I'll.
And I will. I've got Stringfellow Hawk here as well.
It's a weeble.
It's a fucking weevil. No. So I've got Jean-Michael Vincent, who will be played this week by a weeble, by Willie the Weeble.
Shall I take a photograph of Willie the Weeble?
You can take a picture.
Okay, so there's you with Willie the Weeble. There you go, going up on the Facebook group.
There you go. Maybe I should make a helicopter and we can have him in Airwolf as well.
Yeah, you could do.
I could do.
You could do. I mean, we could also. Hold on, I've completely forgotten about. Oh, fuck off, casino, bloody party casino bollocks. But anyway, here we go. So, Darren.
Yeah.
You got any? What's your plans?
My plans. Hi. Welcome to Darrens Craft Corner.
Welcome.
And this week we'll be making the Land Raider from
Yes.
Damnation Alley, as I've already said. But I feel as though I have to do it in this voice because, well, the music is making my voice change.
And Darren,
Yes.
will you be making it in 2 parts?
I probably will be.
Good.
And I will not, as Elton has said, be using one of my socks as the connecting foreskin or whatever it is they had between them.
Foreskin.
I don't know.
Right. Okay. Well, there you go. So all excited. Sorry.
I found Ernest Borgnine.
Ernest Borgnine. Oh yeah.
Okay. Was he in Damnation Alley?
No, he wasn't. It was George Peppard.
Oh, that's right. Yes, it was.
Yeah, Ernest Borgnine was in Airwolf.
I've got George Peppard.
Right.
Okay. Would you like to take a picture of George?
Yeah. Well,
There we go.
Peppard.
There's George Peppard.
There's George Peppard.
There's George Peppard.
Right. Okay.
So
you're not going to build Airwolf then?
I could if you want me to.
No. You go on with the Damnation Alley.
I found a hinge now for the door.
You found a hinge. Well, I tell you what. We'll come back to you as I read the wiki. What?
I found the bike. Look,
You found his
I
bike.
The bike. I found Stringfellow Hawk's bike from the back of the fucking Land Raider. Dude, this is so on.
Okay, right. We got the bike now. That's it. We're happy now. Right. Well, we'll come back to Darren. We'll come back to Darren in his craft corner in a little while. So let's get on with the wiki because there was a format. I'm pretty sure there was a format. So, Damnation Alley is a 1977 post-apocalyptic film directed by Jack Smite, loosely, based. He's doing the fucking Lego. You're doing the Lego. You've got windows. There you go. But loosely based on a novel of the same name by Roger Zelazny.
I thought you were going to say Roger de Coulson.
Zelazny. See, I told you I'm shit with names. The original music score was composed by Jerry Goldsmith and notable cinematography by Harry Stradling Jr.
Harry Stradling Jr.
Indeed. It starred Jan-Michael Vincent, George Peppard, Dominique Sander, Paul Winfield, and as Billy, Jackie Earl Haley.
Indeed.
A.K.A. Bloody Rorschach.
Not just Rorschach, but Bloody Rorschach.
Bloody Rorschach.
Bloody Ray Purchase Rorschach.
Bloody Ray Burgess. Anyway, yes. Yeah, well, anyway, so Paul Winfield, and there's Roger Zelazny, His original story was changed considerably in the final script. Zelazny was quite pleased with the first script that was done by Lucas Heller and expected it to be the shooting script. However, the studio had Alan Sharp write a completely different version that left out many of the elements of Zelazny's book. Zelazny did not realise this until he actually saw the movie in the cinema. He disliked the movie, but assertions that he requested to have his name removed from the credits are completely unfounded, since he did not know where there was a problem until after the movie had been released. It had a budget of $17 million, which was large at the time. How much do you think it made in the box office, Darren?
17 million pence.
Okay. Jim?
4 million.
Elton?
9 million.
Well, Jim is bang on the money. It was 4 million quid. Or $4 million. Absolutely tanked. Oh dear. Pardon me. So it was production was rife with problems. The devastated landscapes and giant mutated insects proved to be nearly impossible to create despite the larger budget. For example, a sequence involving a giant 8-foot-long scorpions attacking a motorcycle was first attempted using full-scale scorpion props, but they didn't work, and the resulting footage was unacceptable. Oh, but the stuff that they used was, apparently. Yeah. The solution was to use actual scorpions composited into live action using blue screen process in post-production. Another action...
Sellotape.
Yeah, and sellotape. And holding one very close to the camera. Another action sequence with giant cockroaches used a combination of live Madagascar hissing cockroaches and a large number of rubber bugs, which looked unconvincing on screen as the string pulling the mats covered with fake insects was clearly visible.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it bloody was.
It was my favourite special effect in the whole film.
It was bloody visible, and I was watching it on my phone. The centrepiece of the film was a 12-wheeled, 7-ton Landmaster.
Landmaster.
Yes, Landmaster. And it performed much better than expected. The Landmaster was so convincing, in fact, that Fox demanded that more shots of the Landmaster appear in the film to make up for shortcomings.
Not enough cowbell.
Yeah, exactly. The decision was also made to add radioactive skies in post-production to add the visual excitement of a post-apocalyptic world in film. Yeah, that worked.
They've obviously never been in a post-apocalyptic landscape because I know there's no excitement there whatsoever apart from, am I going to die?
Exactly. Because of the last-minute decision, Damnation Alley was in post-production for over 10 months due to difficult processes of superimposing optical effects on the sky for 80% of the shots. It was during this period that 20th Century Fox released their other science fiction film for 1977. The studio had planned to release only 2 science fiction films that year, but Damnation Alley was intended to be the blockbuster of the 2. The other film, in case you didn't know, was Star Wars. So, fuck you, Damnation Alley, in a nutshell. In a panic, the release date was delayed until October, while Fox went and re-edited the entire film. Directorial control was wrestled from Smite, and large sections of the film were edited out by the studio in order to focus more on the Landmaster vehicle and the special effects. Excised were several key scenes. Will you stop that?
Building my fucking masterpiece, dude. It's
Okay.
like, fucking hell, what do you want from me?
Just carry on building. Anyway, confrontation. Was it?
More interesting than his fucking wiki.
It is. Yeah. Several key scenes were cut out, including a scene where George Peppard, much to his chagrin, Murray Hamilton, aka the general of the missile base, also the guy, the mayor from the mayor from Jaws.
It's like things are going to go wrong if he's in charge of anything.
Exactly. But his scenes were cut out, and therefore he was rendered effectively mute for the entire entire running time of his film, appearance in the film. And critically, a confrontation between Tanner and Denton after the death of Keegan by killer cockroaches. In this scene, Tanner blames Denton for not saving his friend from death. The film was eventually released on October the 21st, 1977, so almost 40 years ago. To poor reviews, and it tanked at the box office.
Really?
Yeah, unsurprisingly. There's a lot about Landmaster, which we'll skip. Reception. Damnation Alley opened in 1977, 1 year after it was filmed. After the release, it quickly left the theatres because it did not make enough money to stay in the chain of theatres. Dismissal of the film was noted, overshadowed by prior apocalyptic films like Day the World Ended and On the Beach, and some theatres during 1977. The film was paired with Ralph Bakshi's Wizards. The film in the UK, Damnation Alley, was released in 1979, along with a double bill of Thunder and Lightning. I never heard of that film, but I shall have a look at it now. Oh, it's got a wiki of precisely one line. Right, okay.
Bollocks.
Yeah. And that's that. Just fuck off. So, yeah, that's Damnation Alley in a nutshell. Yeah. That's Damnation Alley. So, who wants to go first? Darren's doing his Lego. So, Jim, do you want to have a crack at this first?
Oh, yes, please.
Go on then, away you go.
My 18-wheeler.
Go on then, get it going. Off you go.
Well, I'm not the can't. Sorry,
That's it. I remember I caught this one morning in the summer holidays, I believe.
Okay.
Where kind of, British TV programmers traditionally said, what old shit have we got in the archive we can bung on?
Yeah, pretty much. Nice.
ITV, I'm looking at you. And I remember, I think I was probably about 12 or 13. I remember just watching it and thinking, this is cheap. This is really cheap. I mean, at that age, you didn't have all this on-demand streaming, pirates, Netflix and chill when I was a lad. It was literally all fields of fuck all.
Yeah, it was VHS and the wank.
Something came on that was fantasy, horror, or SF, or even might just be a bit weird. You watched it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, by that point, I had got to the point of kind of realize, okay, that's not everything under the name of SF is brilliant, is it? And there's a particular strain of 60s and 70s American sci-fi that was made for buttons, and it falls into a genre, I think, of men in pseudo-military uniforms shouting at each other in unconvincing situations.
Yep. Pretty much.
And it was kind of, and when I started watching this, it all came flooding back. And I remembered I think I just wandered off about after I saw the first Scorpion, just thought, sod this.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm out. This is going to be bad. It's going to be like some of those really cheap dinosaur movies where they put plasticine on sad-looking iguanas to pretend they're dinosaurs. Instead of doing the proper thing and hiring Ray Harryhausen or Jim Danforth for someone like that. No. Or even, building huge puppets like Amicus did for the Doug McClure films. No.
Bring in the
When you're
sad
using
iguanas.
real animals, boy.
Yeah, bring in the iguanas. Oh, God, yeah.
Or sad iguana.
Sad iguana. Yeah.
And watching it this time, it was just kind of like, I did, because we had a bit of time, I did actually quick have a research of Roger Zelazny's original novel, which I had read.
Yes. Yeah.
It was called The Cursed Earth when I read it.
Nice.
And it's kind of, okay, you took away, because in the novel, he has to get a serum.
Yes.
From coast to coast. And the whole thing is the lead character is this tough anti-hero called Hell Tanner, who's a former biker and a wanted murderer. And essentially it's a suicide mission. And so it's kind of, you say, if you do this, you get a pardon.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of, I have actually started reading the book. And on one hand, it's very cliched. But on the other hand, in fairness, it was Roger Zelazny's Damnation Alley that wrote all these cliches in the first place. I mean,
yeah.
If you want to get the playbook for post-apocalyptic stories, get Damnation Alley and John Wyndham's Day with the Triffids. Stick them together, and that's your Bible for everything post-apocalypse, pretty much.
Yeah,
They're everything that happens, anything post-apocalyptic is in one of those two books.
Yeah.
And watching this, it's just kind of like, how did you screw this up so badly? And I'd seen on the wiki, it had roughly the same budget as Star Wars. In fact, it had more budget when it started, and I've not been able to find out quite how it lost something like 7 or 10 million during the making of. Because its schedule, they announced it was a budget of 17 million. It ended up with just 7.
Oh God!
And it's kind of there's some kind of creative accounting went on there.
Yeah,
but it was a kind of, how did you even spend 7 million and ended up with something that, you know, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea had better sets and effects, you know?
Yep.
And it's kind of, you took this book that was full of really exciting things and you cut all the exciting things out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the cockroaches were awful.
Yeah, they were.
Just too slow, man. Too slow. And as for that truck stop where they get ambushed by mountain men, I suspect the same thing would have happened if they'd stopped there before the nuclear apocalypse.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It was just like incredibly dull. It's kind of, you took something that had so much potential and just sucked the life out of it. It was terrible. It's just dull. And as for the end, it kind of clearly Fox said, enough is enough.
Yeah.
Got 10 minutes to go. Are we going to colour in these skies with felt tips? No, can't be bothered anymore.
Yeah.
Look, there's some people. Oh, just stop them. Just freeze frame. That'll do.
Yeah.
We've
Done.
given up.
Everyone's home. The end. Done.
I mean, the good thing about it is I do think the Landmaster is a terrific looking vehicle.
Right.
And I know they spent a fair bit on it. I mean, so I'm actually writing a little bit on my blog series, The Horrible House of Terrible Old Tat,
Yeah.
about Damnation Alley, and particularly how it's kind of inspired the Cursed Earth and the Matchbox Adventure 2000 models.
Oh God, yeah.
But I do work out the land rate actually, you know, in equivalent terms, because they've got this famous custom car builder to make it for them. You know, it cost like over $1.5 million in today's money.
Yeah.
And they had it all front and center in the publicity. Yet in the film, it's kind of the exciting tour for the radioactive wasteland is driving around this clearly the same bit of desert. Oh. It's like the beautiful girl at the prom who's no one's asking to dance. It was heartbreaking because it's kind of, that's a really cool vehicle. It's like a Jerry Anderson vehicle, like a cross between the Captain Scarlet Spectrum pursuit vehicle, and the UFO mobile interceptors, the tank ones. It's like it's like the love child of that, and it just gets to drive around some roads and fires one solitary rocket.
Some disused car park in East Cheap.
Yeah. So you weren't terribly impressed, is what you're basically coming around to.
I wasn't. I mean, in fairness, I can understand that if you saw this when you were maybe 7 or 8, you might have had a really thrilling time with it, and your imagination would have filled in all the gaps from what meager fare they served up on screen.
Yeah.
And if you got, a lot of nostalgia for it, well, fair play. But it's still a shit film, though, isn't it?
Pretty
Well,
much.
it's not so much a shit film, it's the fact that it could have been a brilliant film. I don't know, Fox really dropped the ball on this one. Really badly they dropped the ball on it, because, it kind of... They had a big budget to start with. They built a terrific vehicle. They got some serviceable actors, and then they had a good book to work from, and then just pissed it all away. You idiots.
Yeah, that's about right. So what did you think of it then, Elton?
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't got any reference of the books whatsoever.
Right.
So I'm just going off what I've seen on YouTube. And do you know what? I didn't hate it. I can see why people think it's shit. It's very stretched out in places where it's just, well, we need to pad this film out. How are we going to pad this out? Oh, I know. People love seeing this car driving along.
Right.
And so we're just going to pad and pad and pad and pad and pad.
Mm.
And I get it to a point, but then it becomes a bit, okay, it just feels padding now.
Mm.
It's far too obvious.
Yeah.
I felt sorry. Felt sorry for Jan Michael Vincent and George Peppard.
Yeah.
On there, they've just changed shifts.
Yeah.
And then nuclear war breaks out.
Shit.
How's your fucking luck?
How's your day going? Good?
Honestly.
Yeah.
It's like, sit down. Well, yeah, I'm going to have an easy day. Oh, shit. No, they're firing missiles. They want us to fire back. This isn't a drill.
Mm.
Nobody asked, is this a drill? No,
Yeah.
no, this is actually real. It was just, yeah, we're just fucking firing back.
Yeah.
And then when they fell, yeah, we just go upstairs to the main console and just have a cigarette in there. Let's just watch the fallout happen in front of us.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Just kick back and just like, let's have some cockroach meat and just sit back and cook and just.
Yeah, and then it cuts to some terrible title screens where it's, World War III broke out, but 3 weeks later, everything's fine out there, so everyone can venture out, Otherwise, there wouldn't be a story, would there?
Yeah, yeah. It's. I mean, what It's only nuclear fire. It's fine. It's like all fire. It dies down.
Yeah, but that aside, I know Jim just mentioned it, but it does have a very Jerry Anderson feel to it, with the explosions and the very straight walls. The buildings are very, very square in this as well. Every corridor is very, very square. The machine that they drive around in is very Jerry Anderson-esque. And that appealed to me. I really liked that machine that they were driving around in.
Really? Okay.
I thought it was quite cool.
All
it
right.
appealed to the inner 12-year-old in me.
Mm.
It had that big tracks kind of thing, vibe going about it. And it just... Yeah, do you know what? If I was a kid, I think I would have dug that. Now, that's quite cool.
Mm.
Some of the effects, the scorpion. Right, okay, weird thing. The scorpion chase was fucking abysmal. It was funny, comical, and also desk head
Just fucking sad.
meeting type thing, smacking it around. And it was just frustrating.
Yeah.
But is this the first time a film, instead of using a dummy instead of a person in a dangerous situation?
Used a person instead of a dummy.
Yeah, it's the reverse of what was actually going on. It was clearly a woman on that back of that bike.
That's right.
It was.
He pushed her off.
It's a fucking intern, I think. That they had that weekend shooting the film.
Yep.
It sold me. I thought, you tosser, what the hell do you think you're doing? It was clearly a woman.
Yeah.
And then you see all these scorpions as, because scorpions are clearly attracted to mannequins.
Yeah, that's right. Didn't you know? I thought everyone knew that.
Oh, yeah, but I must have skipped that day.
Yeah, that one.
Also, what else do we have? The cockroaches. Cockroaches were funny as fuck, man. They were brilliant. I absolutely loved them. I do you know what? It's. I think it's the danger bug thing that really gets me, because I could see them being scary as a kid.
Right.
Because
Sorry.
it's
Carry on.
having the insects and kind of being scared of them anyway, and then as a kid going out and seeing insects and being creeped out by it. I can't stand insects anyway, but I get the appeal of that being a bit scary.
Yeah.
And when they're dragging on them on the floor, I was wetting myself for that. I thought that was brilliant. That was amazing.
Do you know what those cockroaches reminded me of? Right? Have you ever seen Michael Bentine's Potty Time? They used to do the marching armies of the little potty people.
The distance ones.
Yeah.
Where they're all on the stick, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. Michael Bentine's Damnation Alley.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, no, they were cool. I couldn't get over the fact that they'd already checked out the cars and seen all the cars with no tires on there. So the cockroaches have eaten all the tires, and the people inside the cars as well, clean to their bones, pristinely.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, when you're scared and worried about cockroaches attacking you, you climb in the cars.
Yeah.
And then worry that, oh shit, I'm being eaten by these cockroaches.
Yeah, and close the door just in case. Just in case. But it was the fact that he got in there going, "Help me, help me." It was like you had two cockroaches on you, and he goes, "Ah," and then he kind of literally walks into the one thing that had like about 1 million cockroaches on it, and then all we could hear is the door close, and you hear, "Help me, help me," through the door. I nearly dropped my phone on the train watching that.
George Peppard opened the door and he was like, oh, nope. Just closed it.
Yeah, I think I'll give that a miss. I'll give that
Not
10
getting
minutes.
in there.
I'll give that 10 minutes of you.
Oh dear. But yeah, it did kind of drag on towards the end. It was harmless, I felt. Although the very end of it, I liked, because the world seems to have corrected itself and turned itself back on its own tilt.
Fuck off.
Somehow, God knows. Did everyone in the Isle of Wight jump up and down? I don't think so. But, okay, everything's sorted out. Brilliant. And now you're back in lush green fields because, you know, they just sprout up once the earth is spinning correctly now, doesn't it? The people that they turned up, I wonder if they're not fucked up and it's really, they've just lured them in. They're going to cook them or barbecue the survivors. Just some dirty little twist to it that I'd like to think that happened.
Oh, I see.
It's the back entrance to that place that was in A Boy and His Dog. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just haven't had the makeup applied yet. That's what it was.
Yeah, luring them downstairs.
Yep.
Yeah. And then it all just goes quiet, and just the sound of a milking, wanking machine just comes on.
Yeah, and then George Baker, yeah, these people want us for dinner. Yeah, they're nice people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jan Michael Vincent, he's a good-looking bloke, isn't he?
What?
Well, I don't know.
That
He's
escalated
now.
quickly.
Yeah, not nowadays, but
He's got the face of a 20-year-old, but he's got the body of a fucking 50-year-old.
no.
Yeah. As you see him, you look at one of the scenes he's sitting there. It's like, oh, I think he, you expect him to work out just a little bit more. It's all in the chest.
He's always got an expression on his face that looks like someone's asking him to do hard sums in his head while he's sucking a lemon.
I thought he was trying to squeeze out
That's what they call smouldering.
Smouldering?
No, that's what you call constipation, mate. That's what that
I was going to say, needs a dose of X-Lax.
Yep. Some Senecot in his diet. That's what he needs.
Yeah. Yeah, so you thought he was quite a good bloke, good-looking bloke then, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, whatever happened to him, I wonder? Whatever happened to him?
Extro, did you ever see that?
It rings a bell.
Oh, God, maybe we'll have that one day. Is it Extro 2 or Extro 3 that he turns up in?
That rings a bell.
And he ends up down in a sewer and they try and make an Aliens rip-off.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah. Don't worry. It's shit. It's not good.
Overall, though, for this movie, I had fun watching it. It didn't. Some bits gripped me. Some bits made me laugh. I didn't feel like I'd wasted my time on it.
Blimey.
I'm quite glad I've seen it, but I don't think I'll ever see it again.
I'm not surprised, I'll be honest with you. But okay, that's cool. Fair enough. So, what about you, Darren? Are we going to Craft Corner first? You want to just?
Well, I've only done a little bit because I've it's like trying to sort through this without making too much noise. And
it's a bit late now, isn't it?
I mean, I could tip all this stuff out on the floor and just go for it that way. It'll make less noise. But
No.
I've done the basics. I found a hinge for the back door.
Okay. So, hold on.
Hold on. Look, here's Jan Michael Vincent's bike sitting in the bay, ready to go. Where's George Peppard's disappeared?
Hang on.
Hold on. Well,
Hang on. Well, I think
could
before...
be George Peppard because he's in the blue uniform.
Right. Well, before you do that, I think we've got to run the jingle, mate. I think.
Okay. Go on then.
So
Go on
just here we go. We got to just do that. Here we go. Oh, it's not running the jingle. Fucking thing. Okay, Darren's Craft Corner. Bom 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 bom
Why
bom.
isn't it running the jingle? If you
fucking
switched
know.
off, you've switched. You put that channel on.
I haven't put it on mute. Shut
Yes,
up.
you have.
No, I haven't.
Didn't you?
No. Look, fuck you. I'm just going to play the fucking blue tone, novel tones or whatever their name is. Go on, talk us through this thing.
Okay, so as you can see, we've created the Landmaster. Slightly, it's more a diorama than an actual proper crime against Lego. As you
it's
can
not
see,
far off.
we have George Peppard sitting in the driver's seat.
The Weeble's George Peppard now, is
He is, because look, he's got the uniform on. He has a blue uniform.
He does have a blue uniform, you are right.
Jan-Michael Vincent has fucked off. So I can't find him now. He's gone somewhere. But I've got his bike in the back here.
Right.
And as you can see, look, I've got a door that's got a hinge on it.
Look at that.
No, it makes
the
a ramp.
hinge comes down.
It does, and it does the rampy thing. So
Amazing. Wow.
Like
That's it. And how many wheels have you got?
I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 wheels.
10 wheels. Only 4 more to go, and you'll be all right.
This week on the Quiz of the Week.
So, okay, well, you'll carry on with that then. And
Shall I tell you what I thought of Damnation?
But yeah, I was going to say, it's probably a good idea just to tell us what you thought of Damnation Alley, then you can get on with your Lego business. So go on then, what did you think of it?
We see, I chose this particularly because it was as bad as I remember it being.
Or you hoped it was as bad?
I hoped it was as bad as because I remember the whole the attack of the cockroaches, right? Who were all in sort of like extremely well behaved, marching in groups of 20. You know,
nailed to a board.
Exactly, nailed to a board, which was being pulled along by George Peppard. He's got a bit of fishing wire attached to the back of his leg. Every time he moved, the thing moved with him. You know.
Yeah.
One thing I will say about the post-apocalyptic landscape, or should I say the world in general.
Yes.
How this is, I'm not sure what weapons of mass destruction they were using, but they obviously generated no radiation whatsoever.
No.
Because you didn't see any real mutants running around. You didn't see anybody with flash burns or anything like this.
No.
Or losing their hair.
No.
Anything like this.
No.
So yeah, there was that.
Right.
I'm so glad that they had a female character in it, because if they hadn't have had the female character in it, then nobody, none of those boys would have had a hot meal, or they would have had a very messy Land Raider as well, because she was integral to the plot of being a housekeeper.
Up. Yeah. And also there was one scene where she's just staring at George Peppard as he shaves.
Yeah, she
was just standing there staring at him while he shaved.
Yeah, and she's probably standing there going, "I'll probably have to fucking clear that up as well, won't I?
I'm going to have to sweep all this up."
Yeah. So, it's nice to see that the women's movement was still being respected.
Set back a few hundred years.
Yeah, after a post-apocalyptic event. And don't you just love the way as well people are so trusting in that film?
Yeah.
It's like the woman comes running down the stairs in a nightie, and going, "Oh, my saviours!" And it's like, well, actually, no, you should be hiding in a cupboard somewhere until they go away, or fucking tooling yourself up with the nearest sharp object before you go anywhere near them.
It was interesting, though, to note that, after 3 weeks surviving in a casino with nuclear radiation, deadly scorpions, man-eating cockroaches and everything, she still looked like she would have been on the front cover of the Little Woods catalogue.
Indeed. Obviously, all the missiles that landed missed all the vital parts of America. It missed every vital organ. So I really don't know where the radiation zones would have been, how we had giant cockroaches, because there was no radiation whatsoever. And how would you get giant cockroaches like that after only a couple of... Because, I mean, surely there's some evolution's got to go on first to get them to that size. I've got to breed a few generations.
We don't be talking about evolution there.
This is a shut up, that's why.
I think I'm playing that card.
I think this is the shut up, that's why guide to the apocalypse.
It is.
So I don't think this would make a very good home defense movie. With the threat of nuclear Armageddon on the horizon, if they started playing this to show everybody that this is what it's like, I think the people will probably start going, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't reckon this.
I don't know that much about nuclear apocalypse, but I've watched Mad Max 2, and I can tell you that it's not like this. There's a lot of leather about, and
I know,
what have you.
I know that leather becomes cheap.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
And what have you.
It's the only good thing. It was the only funny. It's the funniest thing about that SpongeBob film we saw.
Hope you like leather, dude.
Hope you like leather, dude. It turns into a nuclear fire.
Yeah. So it's got to be the most nuclear apocalypse I've ever seen.
Everywhere just turned into a beach.
Yeah. Everything was sand, apparently. There was no building wreckage at all out there. Everything was covered in sand.
No, God bless you. That would have cost.
The sand.
It would have cost money.
Yeah, it would have. And then you had they turned it into an episode of Top Gear with the Land Raider. Was it Jeremy Clarkson?
Yes.
This is a post-apocalyptic vehicle.
Yes, 0 to 5 miles an hour in hours.
And so I put my foot down.
Yeah. My commander said that I should go slow. Of course, that just meant more power.
More power.
Yeah, exactly.
I ramped it up to 5th gear.
Yeah. Anyways, so, what did you actually like about this film? Why are we watching it?
I don't know. I think possibly that I've got to agree that the actual design for the Landmaster, or whatever the hell Landmaster, Lord Humongous's fun bus,
Big Track.
Yeah, Big Track. That had possibly got to be the best special effect in it, or the best prop out of it. It's quite a sturdy vehicle, even though apparently, it takes a single roll and that's it. It's dead.
Yeah.
For a post-apocalyptic vehicle, that's pretty shit.
That is pretty shit.
I've seen Land Rovers. In fact, I've seen Volvo estates that are tougher. Maybe they should have just got a Volvo estate and drove around in that. Because
Sorry?
Robin Reliant?
Robin Reliant.
Yeah, just rolling over around the corners.
Exactly.
You just realised what we're talking about. Yeah.
It's got the world's most advanced braking system. It's called the Roof.
Oh, God, I'm going to look for that Robin Reliant clip now. You carry on.
Do so, yes. I love that bit when, that it does go for a bit of a roll and gets totaled. And then Jan Michael Vince is like, aren't you glad we rode through the storm? And George Papar's like, no, you're still a cunt.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got to put that on the site.
I'm just putting that in our chat. Here we go, gents. Just while we're talking, there's a little gift for you, just to remind you of precisely how you stop a Landmaster. There you go. Oh dear, the Robin Reliant Top Gear section never ceases to amuse.
It's the only vehicle rhino that stops in a kneeling position. Ta-da!
Ta-da! Yeah, it goes end over end.
And the tap dancing judge is none too impressed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is such interesting podcasting for the population. I can't see these clips we're watching, but
No, they can't see these clips, but I will put them up on the Facebook group in a second. Just anyway, there you go. That's the third one. There you go. If everyone can look at them. Oh, anyway. So anything else before I just lay in and leave you to the Lego?
Give me a second. Okay.
Yeah.
Stop playing that fucking clip. Just stop it. I can't concentrate while it's on the screen. Oh, blimey. I know. There's nothing else. That's it.
Nothing else.
It's just, yeah.
Sorry, everyone. Sorry.
It's
Right, stop.
Okay.
I'm going to close that window down.
You've still got the clip. Hey?
It's still playing. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, we're such shit podcasters.
Here we are with the worst.
This is it. We've done the H. Shindig now. It's like fuck it, we don't care.
That's it.
We're just phoning it in there.
We got a year to phone it in before the next one.
Exactly.
Right. So, anything else?
Anything else? Well, I've done the sexism bit. I've done the
The car stopping by rolling over.
exactly cast of like a glove. So there's that.
What about George Peppard's moustache,
Yes,
which seemed to outact him?
That's right. I'll tell you what. Let's take a look at the actual architecture of the Land Rover. Now, as much as I think it looks like a solid design, and it is like you can tell they when they made that for the film, they made it to give a bit of punishment to, right?
Yeah.
What I have to ask was,
Yeah.
where does all the fucking stuff go?
What do you
in
mean?
it?
Where all the
Well,
stuff
look
goes?
at the size of it, right?
Yeah.
Apparently it's got bedrooms in it, right? It's like the fucking Red October, but it's like with it's got TARDIS
with
technology.
fidget spinners for wheels.
Exactly, it's got fidget spinners for wheels.
That's what they look like.
So you can tell this predicted the event of the fidget spinner.
Yeah. In fact, they even see it at one point. They spend so long spending time staring at the wheels actually roll over like a fidget spinner.
Oh, when it's in the water, it uses them as paddles, doesn't it?
That's right.
Oh, can I talk about that as well? I know I said my favourite special effect was the cockroaches, but there's one sequence where you see the Land Raider comes out of the water, and it is quite. You can just see it's a fucking Tonka toy. It's not this wonderful device that they've built. It is a fucking Tonka toy.
Yeah.
That it's like a bus that they've modded. It's not even doesn't even look good.
No.
And they've got those subs.
It's the Father Ted thing. It started off, they tapped a few dents out, and then by the end it looked like a fucking like a rocket.
Yeah, there you go.
One in the bathtub looked worse, where it was just pretending to be underwater, but it's clearly just in a bath.
This one's launching itself from a bath. That's it. It's doing that. How the sea view used to launch itself in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. It does that.
It just kind of flies out, doesn't it?
It's like let's just slow the film down a bit so it looks majestic. When actually, if you see it in real life, it's just like somebody getting a washing up liquid bottle and sticking it at the bottom of a bath and letting it go. Yeah, that's basically it. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was a washing up liquid bottle with a bit of paint on it. Stick a skate on the underneath of it. There you go. There's your Land Raider.
That's it.
Yeah,
all done.
So and where were the toilets? Where were the toilets on this post-apocalyptic vehicle? What were they supposed to do? Open the window and shit out of the window? Is that what it is?
They had a
Don't
shower,
touch the
didn't
chain
they?
while the vehicle's moving.
Yeah, pulling the chain to see him go, just leaving a brown trail right across the landscape.
Yeah, because they're not the mutants aren't. There are no mutants. There are no
mutants.
There's pretendy mutants, but they're not real. mutants. There's,
There's three hillbillies and an out-of-tune piano.
yeah, there's
That's what this film is.
that's it. That's all it is.
It can be summed up with three hillbillies, out-of-tune piano, and Paul Winfield in the car going, "Help me, help me, help
Oh,
me."
and let's just one more. Being thankful for the female character, because who would they have to scream at everything? There you go.
There you go.
Well done, 1970s. Well done.
Well done.
Well done.
Golf
Was
clap.
it the 70s this was made in?
This was made on the same. This was released
77.
77, same year as Star Wars.
Golf clap to the 70s. Well done.
Yeah, never mind.
So,
Shit.
Yeah, fucking Paul Winslow or whatever his name was getting eaten by the
Help me.
by the cockroaches.
I'm
Well
gonna,
done.
I'm going to look for this. I'm going to see if I can find that sample before the evening's out. Help me, help me.
I'm a soldier, man. I'm trained for combat. Help me, help me.
As the door closes. Help me, help me.
God. The child likes around.
Man.
I can't walk down the windows.
I can't turn off child lock. Out your mind out window.
Help me. Anyway. Oh, right. Okay. Well, you get on with that. I'll carry on.
Okay, I'm all done now.
Are you all done now?
Yes.
Well, okay. Well, I thought it was shit. I thought this was fucking awful. I thought this was a waste of my time from start to finish. The opening of Jan Michael Vincent and
Ernest
George,
Borgnine.
George,
Oh no, it was a
George
W.
Peppard. George Peppard was like, you have 5 minutes of them walking through the set of sort of Star Trek, and then basically there's not a single word said between them, and then all of a sudden it's just like, I think we should have a transfer. Why? You know why. It's your attitude.
Yeah.
Right, that's it. That's your entire character motivation. That's it, is it? It's all done. That's all you got. And then that's it. It's just completely forgotten. And then it's like, let's do the test. The missile test. And they're doing a missile test, and it's like, we're doing the missile test. But then in the actual fire's coming down, it's like, do they actually know it's a missile test? Do they know there's actually a war going on? Or do they just think they're still doing a missile test? Does it explain that at all? Because they all just sit there like bored.
Yep.
It's like they're watching daytime soaps.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden it's like, then you cut to Jan Michael Vincent bringing home a dummy in the future.
Yep.
Why? What was he going to do with that dummy? What was he actually going to do with that dummy that he would risk his life through scorpion fields? What was he going to do?
He was bringing it home for the one and only black character in the entire film to photograph and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that was... Right, okay. And so the film is just a collection of fuckwittery.
It is.
And do you know what? It comes to something when the car... They made a big deal of that car, and I'm glad I read that in the wiki. But they actually... That car... Because I'm going to keep calling it a car. It's not a truck. It's clearly a car. They've just stuck like fucking... It's a knockout. They just stuck a big old silly frame on the outside of a Volkswagen Beetle. And it's just like... They spend more time talking about that bloody thing and showing it than they talk about any other character in the entire film. And I'm like, why do I care? It's like the prop guy built this fucking thing and then went up to the director and went, I've spent all weekend making this. I've lost my wife, my children. You are going to show it from every conceivable angle. Don't skip a single piece. Don't skip a rivet. Because I made this. And the film is just bollocks. It's just bollocks. I sat there with little or no interest in anything going on until...
What did Casey and Lisa think of it?
They didn't get to see it. I literally sat on a train watching it on the train. But no, the one bit where I finally did have an emotional reaction was
the credits.
No, was the fact that the whole Earth has been knocked off its axis. Now let's just bear that in mind. Earth's been knocked off its axis, and then Lady, because really her name doesn't matter as far as the
Lady
script's concerned.
McLady of the Clan McLady.
Exactly, as far as the script's concerned. Suddenly it's like, she goes, don't worry, maybe one day things will just go back to normal. Things always go back to normal. And it's like, you're kidding me. You're not going to have everything go back to... you're going to have everything go back to normal. There's a windy storm. The seas rise.
Yep.
And suddenly there's trees, rocks, and everything looks like fucking Vancouver. It's like, right. In the space of what? Like half an hour?
Yep.
And I just went, oh, fuck off, and I just deleted the bloody thing. I don't even know what happened. All I saw was Jan Michael Vincent suddenly go, hey, I'm going to go and see these people. And I thought, well, you know what? Maybe they're cannibals. Maybe they're not. And then I had one thought, and this is where you need to get your tinfoil hat out, Elton.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon none of that's real. I reckon that they're all dead. That there was a big old storm and they died.
Now, you see, I would agree with you normally on that, but I think that's bollocks. I think you're reading far too much into it.
They're still in the tank at the bottom of the sea.
Yeah.
Like the Kursk.
Yeah. They're still in Big Track. Big Track with a sock.
Just hammering away.
Yeah.
Dunk.
Yep,
Dunk.
that's it. Yep, that's it. And then what's happened? Well, they run out of air and they have a bit of a delusion.
It's just a delusion.
Delusion. Delusion.
Could it be a picture in your mind? Sorry, I went all 80s, Camp 80s. I really did.
Yeah, so that's it. I reckon they're suffering oxygen starvation and they're all just still sitting there at the bottom of the sea.
I think you're right.
Because
I would agree with that.
Because that's it. Because there's no other explanation for why suddenly we go from a sandblasted desert with nothing in the sky and apparently the Earth is sitting at 90 degrees to its own axis. Suddenly, the Earth suddenly turns upright and everything goes back to normal.
And Jan Michael Vincent is still swinging from that hatch to try and open it.
Yep. Still sitting there, humming this theme tune to Airwolf.
Yeah, I could go with that.
Actually, I keep imagining him singing the theme tune to The Fall Guy. I don't know why.
Well, you think Jules Peppard is Ernest Borgnine. I think you're just having one of those senior moments.
I think I am.
I think you think Jan Michael Vincent is Lee Majors.
Yes, he is. There we go. He could jump on open drawbridge or Tarzan from a vine.
But he's the unknown stuntman that makes Eastwood look so fine. I know.
Actually, I've got it on authority that Eastwood fucking hated him. So,
Hey, Eastwood fucking hated him.
He said, fuck the unknown stuntman. I don't know who he is, so fuck him.
Bollocks the unknown stuntman. Can I also ask a question? Uh-huh. If you're in a Las Vegas casino, yeah, you could have the guy with the hat as Little Billy. There you go.
Oh,
sorry, Darren's still making the Landmaster.
Well, it's got a handbag, so that can be the lady character.
Oh, the lady character. Yeah. Right,
It's got no screaming option on here, though.
Well, give it a chance.
Where's a dustpan and brush? So that we can have it realistically portrayed as the character from the film.
Yeah, exactly. A Hoover and a piano.
Exactly.
But no, if you're living in a Las Vegas casino with presumably limited resources, why on earth would you waste those resources keeping the fucking vending machines going? The pinball machines, the was it? The one-armed bandits.
One-armed bandits.
Yeah.
Well, aren't they clockwork? Aren't they more...
Clockwork?
They don't rely on electricity to actually spin the
really?
units.
They do.
How do they make noise then? Do they just look? They got a little Hammond organ with some cards in the background. They go tink, 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 tink,
Yeah,
tink.
this is true. Yeah.
How do they make lights? They got candles. What kind of steampunk?
They have
world are you-
fireflies in
I'm
them.
really sorry for not being a fucking
So you should be, Alton.
technician
Jesus
on
Christ.
these gambling machines.
What do we pay you for?
Yeah.
Not for that.
No. Yeah.
Clearly, obviously.
Obviously. Yeah. So you in your steampunk world with your fucking candle lit electronic devices, you know.
If anything, they would be creating electricity. There you go, in your face.
Why would they be creating the electricity?
In your face. Why in your
Why
the
in
face?
my face? What's
Shut up. That's why
what's my face got to do with it?
I'm pulling out that card.
That's George Peppard. Look
That's
at the
George
wrinkly
Peppard.
faced son of a
Yeah, I
bitch.
can see that. That,
Right, here
that
we
definitely
go.
looks like George
That's
Peppard.
George
You
Peppard.
put George Peppard
George
in there,
Peppard.
right? Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
So so overall, I thought it was bollocks. I thought every moment of it was bollocks and a complete waste of my time. From this stupid fucking cockroaches to the ridiculous showdown with three hillbillies, which requires you to go, oh, you could all stay here with your guns to me, or you could go and check out this thing that's going on in the room. And they all go, what? No, it's not happening without me. I'll be right back. Oh, damn, you have fooled me. It's like, oh, fuck off. And the cockroaches, by the way, for Paul Winfield, he's got them all over him, yeah?
Yep.
When it started, he had one. And you know what happened when old Stringfellow Hawk got one on him?
Peter Stringfellow Hawk.
Peter Stringfellow Hawk?
Yeah.
All he did was he used his fingers and he went flick, and
Yep.
he just flicked it off.
Yep.
So, if they're that easy to get off,
He said, Winfield, that's how you do it.
yeah. Peace out, Winfield.
What's your fucking problem,
Yeah.
Winfield?
And by the way, can I also congratulate the cockroaches on actually making a seat out of bones and actually moving the hip bones up to the headrest and the ribs down to the seat, and so therefore either made a skin seat, sort of Leatherface style, or perhaps person who died was standing on their head trying to hotwire the car when they were eaten by cockroaches.
Could have been. That would be a nice little tale.
Well, it would have been more interesting than this shit.
Because it was shit.
And why did we have to have a 10-minute sequence of George Peppard trying to find a camshaft or whatever the fuck that was, transmission axle, and telling us that his supercar could take anything from any car whatsoever? It's
I
like,
loved that truck that fell from the sky and just, oh, we're blocked in.
yeah, we're blocked in.
Suddenly it became Scrap Heap Challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Peter, who was it? Richard Llewellyn. Or is it David or Richard
Llewellyn.
Llewellyn? Robert Llewellyn, that's it. Standing there going, now I want you to make a Vegas pim one-armed bandit using a candle and some string. Anyway, it's rubbish. I think everyone else thinks it's rubbish. I think it's rubbish. I'm not going to waste any more time of my time on it. Darren's quite happy playing with his Lego. So shall we do feedback?
Let's do feedback.
Let's do feedback. Yay.
Now put your hands up, here online, doing real fine. We're doing our podcast thing. It's called Black Dog, it's not like a joke. Is anyone there listening? What do you think of our show? Let us know by MP3 or email. Just get it to us, it ain't no fuss. We'll even read your Twitter rings. Cause if you like us or you hate us, send some feedback in. Got a geek report to raise and put some feedback in. If you think my voice is sexy, put some feedback in. Man, we really like it if you put some feedback in.
Okay, right, so it's feedback time. But before we do that, let's move over to...
Darren's Craft Corner.
Okay, so Darren, how are we doing?
All right.
Is that it?
Yeah, nobody died.
Nobody's died.
Nobody's died. So I'm almost now finished with the Land Rover. Just putting the finishing touches to the masterpiece.
When you say you're putting the finishing touches,
I'm putting the finishing touches.
When you're putting the finishing touches, what are you actually doing?
are you putting a middle to it?
I'm trying to make it a bit pointy on the end.
You're trying to make it a bit pointy on the end.
I'm trying to make it a bit pointy on the end.
Elton would like to know if you're actually doing the foldy bit in the middle.
No.
So it's not very good then, is it?
Because, like I say, it's Darren's Craft Corner, which means the universe revolves around my expectations and not yours, McManus.
How does it turn?
How does it turn?
Yeah.
How does
It doesn't. Okay, they just lump
it just goes in a straight line.
Yeah, exactly. Because
That's it.
no, you see, this is.
So
is
you've got to
actually-
point the whole vehicle in your destination.
No, listen. No, there's a reason
Position of
behind
the
this.
destination and then
They
drive
need
straight.
to get somewhere quickly, and always.
What if there's a house in the way?
If it goes through it, it's built like a fucking tank. It's got a pointy bit on the end. It'll go
Can't
through
that
the
way.
house.
There's a pole.
Well, it'll go through the fucking. It'll run the pole over.
Show us
It's a big
I'll
pole.
tell you what,
Show
right?
us the pony bit.
If it in an argument between this and a pole, right? Okay, it's going to do a lot more damage to the pole before it even scratches the paintwork than the pole.
You do know it's Lego.
Yes.
How does it turn, Darren?
How does it turn? It does now. I told you. The straightest, the quickest point between between 2 points is a straight line.
Silly man.
No. Scientifically proven. I have science to back me up on this.
Scientifically proven what? To go straight, and that is it.
Is the shortest way between 2 points, and they need to get there pretty sharpish. So I thought I'd give them a hand, and take away the ability to steer, because you don't want to get
I
distracted.
bet you've still got a fucking steering wheel inside that thing, don't you?
No. It's just got a really. It's just got.
It has, hasn't it?
No, it hasn't. It's got no cereal. It's just got George Peppard looking rather mournfully out the front window, thinking, if there's a fucking pole gets in the way, we're fucked.
If I hit a bollard, this is all over. One sleepy policeman and we're fucked.
Don't even start me on speed bumps. So, yeah.
So, okay.
So,
Why is it pink and blue now?
because those are the colours that promote peace and love, and this is why people trust them so much. Look how sad George is now. You pointed this out. Look how sad his face is. Look. I want you to look at him, and I want you to think about what you've done.
Show me George.
I'll
show me George. I'll put him up on the Facebook group. So
There's-
show me how
There's
sad
George
he is.
Peppard. This is sad George Peppard.
Sad George Peppard. There you go.
See, there's no way of turning that frown upside down now.
I can't really, because I can't really even see his face. It's like,
Would you like me to take his cap off?
yeah. Take his cap
He's
off.
got his cap.
Make him even more sad.
There we go. Look.
Show me again.
There you go. He looks sad. He's a bit jowly, but he's old.
You've got a Chitari head from fucking Avengers set.
So you think that's the illusion? It's a lot more believable than this fucking film. Okay.
Show us your progress, and then put it up against the cut, up against this thing.
There you go. Let's see, and it's even got a little
Right.
lamp at the back.
Yeah. Show us
Okay,
it.
right,
Show
there
us
we
it.
go. So if hold on. There we go. I've got
For God's sakes.
Jean Michael Vincent
Right.
riding his bike now.
Yep.
He's a stunt bike cyclist. He's actually using the force to ride the bike, because as you can see, he can't reach the fucking handlebars. So
He can't get in through the door
he
either.
can't. He's going off down the shops to get everybody a cornetto, because
Right.
they found a working fridge in Vegas. Oops. There you go. I'm a Stringfellow Hawk,
Well, that was remarkable.
wasn't it? It's a great. That was probably
That's-
even better filmmaking
That's
than the original
podcast.
film.
That's podcasting history, my
That-
friend.
That's podcasting magic. I think you'll find, Lee.
Yeah.
I don't know how can you use that with these figures? You can't. It doesn't work. Why would it give me a shitty bike like this?
I don't know.
Why?
Is it even a Lego bike?
It's wait a minute. I think I found out how it works. There we go. Jan Michael Vincent can now ride his bike properly.
Right.
Look, there
Go
you
on,
go,
show
look.
us him riding his
There you go,
bike,
look,
and
he's
then we'll
got
get
one.
on with feedback.
He's got one. Look.
Put it up against the camera.
Me head. No.
Show us against. I
There you go.
can't see it. There he is.
Look at how happy he is now.
Yeah,
Look.
he is happy. You have unwrinkled his brow.
He's happy because he's special.
I've stopped recording because can't take it anymore.
Have you?
No, I haven't. I'm still recording
okay.
on there. I'm
Look.
still just stopped recording. No, I'm not doing any more. I'm not giving this any more time of day, man.
Why not?
I'm done.
Look, my masterpiece.
He hasn't got a roof.
Do you know they say art is expression? I feel as you're actually kind of trying to stop me expressing myself.
Look at the violence inherent in the system.
Exactly. Art is life, man. Art is life, and my art is full of life or something. Oh, it's lice. Sorry, it's full of lice. That's right.
I'll be honest with you. I was hoping for
Don't.
more.
What do you mean you're hoping for more?
I was hoping for at least a sort of hexagonal shape to the car, and I was hoping for a bit more consistency in the colour and a roof.
Who the fuck are you, Simon Cowell of Lego? Who died and made you the king of Lego? How many post-apocalyptic vehicles have you built in Lego? Shall I tell you? 0. That's how much
do you
you
know?
built. When you've built one,
Yeah.
you can come back to me and tell me how shit my design is. But until then, shut up. All right?
My one, I'll have the upside down little slopes, so we can get the hexagonal shape. Just saying.
Does it look like I care? Really? Do I look like I actually give a shit?
Well, you seem to be getting a little bit cross, I'll be honest with you. I don't know about what it sounds like to the other
I'm
guys.
trying
but,
to express my art, and all I'm
I
getting...
like to see the video so I can judge.
I'm going to put the video up. There you go. You can have a look at this.
and stuff. I don't know where this fucking bit's going.
Yeah, see,
I'm just going to put that there.
It's a terrible design, frankly. I mean, if it was alive, it'd be going, kill me. If it could speak.
See, again, you're just ripping the piss out of my art, which is my expression, and I think you're just a bad person.
Oh, it's
I
not.
think you somebody did something to you, What did they do to you, Lee? What did they do to you? What was done? Tell me. Shall I play you a Lionel Richie record? You can then sort of like get all feely and you can tell me. Maybe cry a bit. I don't know.
I'll be honest with you. You're being very defensive right now.
I'm not. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of your problem, Lee. Who did this to you? What was done? What made you this bitter and twisted individual that wants to bring everybody else down?
Well, frankly, I
You
think
can't. Are you frightened to say, or can
No. I can say. I just feel like you probably wouldn't appreciate it.
No, I probably wouldn't. 'Cause you know what? I just don't give a shit.
Sitting there with your square dildo of a car.
Pointy bit. Look,
It's got a pointy bit.
it's got a pointy bit.
The pictures are going up. So I
Are
don't
they?
know. There you go. There's George Peppard with his hat on.
That's good.
And
I'm
there's
glad.
yeah, you can enjoy all these photos on the Facebook group, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, the multicolored thing that just looks like someone's randomly had a bit of an embolism while trying to make a yellow brick. That's
No, you see,
that's
this
the
is
thing.
this is a clever camouflage maneuver.
Is it?
Yeah, because it looks like a giant Banksy's painting, so people would just think, "Oh, that's just a bit of artwork."
Is it?
Yeah, there's going to be nothing of value within that. We're going to leave that alone.
Funny enough, nothing of values. It's quite a good description.
It's got loads of value. It's a defensive.
Oh,
maneuver.
look, see, now you've angled it in.
I've angled
You've
it in.
angled it in now. See, so you can do it.
See, it's like you. You're like this with trailers. Oh, that film looks shit. And then you see the trailers, like, I'm not watching that. You see, you didn't wait, did you? It's like all those other internet fucking people out there who complain about stuff before they've actually seen it. You didn't let me finish. There. How do you feel now?
I feel like
I
it
want
still
you to-
hasn't got a fucking roof on it.
I want you to write a 400-page dissertation on.
I'm going to write a BuzzFeed article,
Yeah.
15,000 things you didn't know about Darren's Lego.
Yeah, I think you should. I think you should do
Number
that.
1, it's not his Lego. 2, he makes things that are square when they should be hexagon. 3, he doesn't know how to make a roof.
Lee
Repeat
hasn't been hugged enough.
Repeat 500 times.
There you go. I'm almost done. Screw you.
Right. Anyway, moving on to feedback. We start the feedback with a piece of feedback from Peter Labrinos. Labrino B1 Kenobi, I think it is. Yeah, Labrino B1 Kenobi, the Canadian Labrino B1 Kenobi. There you go. Right, and he writes, look out for the giant shitty scorpions. Hello, Black Dog. I hope everything finds you well this week. I don't remember ever seeing this film before, so this may have been a first watch for me. What I do remember is the ads for this film when it came, especially the scenes with the cockroaches. What I really enjoyed was the locations, because I have driven around the areas where it's been filmed, Death Valley, Nevada, Arizona, so it was fun to see them again. The first 10 minutes had a War Games vibe, especially in the scenes of them walking down to the silos, and I suspect the War Games copied from this film. What do you reckon? Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Jan Michael Vincent said Matthew Broderick to me.
Okay. What, your Lego Jan Michael Vincent said Matthew Broderick, did he?
Yes. And your problem with this is?
Nothing. Carry on building your thing.
Nothing.
Anyway, when World War III starts and 2 minutes of mushroom cloud porn before the story, for lack of a better word, really starts, the SFX back screen and green screen were, to be generous, terrible, and the fallout effects reminded me of the original Battlestar Galactica, which came out the following year and took a lot of its look from this film. What idiot thought it was a good idea that to sleep in a room storing clearly labelled explosive gas and start smoking cigarettes while watching porn mags? And when the base blew up, it looked like they used shots from Operation Crossbow, a 1965 film that George Peppard starred in. I did like the actors in this, and it was nostalgic to see those that aren't with us anymore. George Peppard will always be John Hannibal Smith, and Paul Winfield will be Captain Tyrrell from Wrath of Khan. Jan Michael Vincent is Tanner after he mellowed out and looked a lot like Richard Hatch from another British Battlestar Galactica coincidence. His cowboy attitude was nicely shown from the start when he pointed his gun at Denton while loading it, spinning it before holstering it. I had to look up Jackie Earle Haley, who played the kid, and was surprised that he also played Rorschach in Watchmen. My favourite scene was in the casino when they took a break and allowed the characters to develop. Okay. The ending was disappointing. A Disney ending. So, a so-so film, worth the watch, but meh. I'm in no hurry to watch it again anytime soon. Until next time, this is your other man in Canada, Labrino Obi-Wan Kenobi. Well, thank you very much for that, sir. Meh. Yeah, that's good. There's a good description for it overall. Yeah, the guy dying and blowing everything up with the fucking gas and a cigarette. What buffoon does that? I mean, really, that just kind of summed up the film in a nutshell, didn't it? It's just like people just got bored, fell asleep, and then blew themselves up just for the hell of it.
I actually think this was probably
I
written
thought it
by
was
me.
the jazz mag that sent it all up.
The jazz mag.
It's a jazz mag.
Nice. Oh dear. Well,
I think it was written by me at the age of 12 because I used to write stories like this. I used to have big ideas of writing a story, and it'd be like, oh, and then they solved it and went home.
yeah, and then
That's it.
and then the whole world blew up, and that was it. The
That
end.
was it.
Mm. By the way, I noticed before we move on to Jim's feedback, and thank you very much for that, Peter, that you've got a roof on it now.
I've got a roof on it. See, you didn't wait till it was finished.
Where's the rocket pods?
The rocket pods?
Yeah, there's rocket pods on the roof.
They're there,
Are they?
And the hatch.
And the hatch?
and the hatch is at the back.
No, on the roof. The one that came out the roof.
It's there.
That's a bit
I-
back.
Yes.
It's a bit far back, if I'm honest.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, so moving on, Jim,
Yes.
your piece of feedback, sir.
We have a transmission from the highlands of the internet.
Is that the
Latest missive from the bard known as McJeffrick.
the clam McJeffrick from the clan McJeffrick? What does he have to say?
That never gets old. Anyhow,
do you want me to play you some bagpipes underneath?
if you like.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
Hello again, you four fine fellows. I hope everyone is recovered from the shindig. It looks like you all had a great time. And congratulations on 8 years of entertaining and occasionally enlightening. I had the opportunity today to see one of my all-time favourite films, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, on the big screen. With that in mind, I thought I'd do a Paul Winfield double bill by following it up with Damnation Alley. In retrospect, that was probably a mistake.
Yes.
Damnation Alley is a pretty lousy movie. I can forgive cheap production values and amateurish special effects, but the slow meandering plot and cardboard cutout characters didn't give me any reason to cut it any slack. The entire movie had the momentum, had a momentum-killing lack of any vitality. From the earliest scenes, the characters faced the oncoming apocalypse with bored indifference. After the bombs fell, the only person who really seemed shaken up by the end of the world was the barely mentioned general, who we see looking distraught for half a second before their base is blown up by a moron who fell asleep smoking a cigarette and looking at girly mags. The admittedly cool landmasters are rolled out, and Tanner and Keegan shrug their shoulders and go along. Apparently their deep-seated differences that caused them to leave the service and move into a building next door were not that divisive. In Las Vegas, they meet a struggling musician who survived Armageddon because she was being coerced into sex by a creep. On the plus side, Denton, Keaton, and Tanner don't follow suit. I'm still not sure why she was apparently using generators to keep the slot machines running.
There you go.
I guess we couldn't have got that interminably surreal one-armed bandit playing scene otherwise. Then poor Keegan gets eaten by Madagascar hissing cockroaches. Paul Winfield lived longer than I expected, but I thought it was mildly amusing to me that he was killed by bugs in both movies I saw today.
Yeah, that's true.
My favourite scene in the movie happens when they find Billy. I could watch Jan Michael Vincent getting pelted with rocks for the remaining runtime, but alas, all good things come to an end. After the requisite confrontation with rapey wasteland hobos, the Landmaster breaks down, and without B.A. Face or Mad Dog Murdoch around, Hannibal isn't able to repair it with a quick montage. So our survivors are overtaken by an enormous storm. The Landmaster is swept up in a torrent of floodwater, and our intrepid crew conveniently end up a mere 17 miles from their destination. Apparently, Albany isn't near any ICBM targets, and also escaped the giant storm and a deluge of water that appeared to cover the entire northern hemisphere of the planet. Tanner and Billy ride off to meet the scores of happy survivors and abruptly end the film. I guess we're just supposed to assume that Janice and Major Denton joined them shortly afterwards, and everyone lived happily ever after. Actually, this gave me my biggest laugh of the movie. The sheer ineptness of it all was perfectly encapsulated here. They couldn't even bring the story to a proper conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
As dumb and pointless as it all was, I actually had fun watching it. Plenty of inept and stupid things throughout elicited chuckles and guffaws, especially the Texas Instruments desktop calculator doubling as a high-tech navigational computer panel. Forgot about that as well.
Yeah.
Now spell Deptford.
Yeah. Take a left at... Watch out! Cockroaches!
For the most part, the cast did a pretty good job. George Peppard was perfectly serviceable, though his accents drifted from Texan to generic southern United States to non-existent. Dominique Sander was fairly unremarkable, but that's a compliment in this case. Paul Winfield was great as usual. Baby Rorschach was really good for a child actor. I don't like Jan Michael Vincent. His smug, smarmy face is eminently punchable.
Yep.
As a young man, I loved Airwolf, and I've tried to watch it again in recent years. And not even Ernie Borgnine and the coolest helicopter in the world can save it from that black hole of charisma. It co-starred with Bronson in The Mechanic, and by comparison, Chuck was a vibrant and subtly expressive master of his craft. Sorry about that. I just realised how much I don't care for this man. All in all, I actually had a lot of fun watching this awful movie. I would guess I was in the right mood for it. And this should make listening to the hosts and feedbackers working it over all the more satisfying. Thanks again for all the fun and frivolity. Here's to another 8 years and then some.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, McJeffrick of the clan McJeffrick. Yes. Yes. Bored ineptitude. I think that's a good description.
Fair cop.
I was going to say, hands up. Nothing else to say. Move on. Thank you very much for that, sir. I like that. Good feedback. So, let's move on. Darren, can I interrupt you for a second?
You certainly can.
Can I? Now that you've got a roof on the bloody
I've
thing?
got a roof on the bloody thing. I'm just doing the side panel here.
Okay.
On it. Just,
And,
Yeah.
can I take a photograph of it?
This is the... I mean, you might as well.
Okay. Well, you carry on. You do the feedback,
Okay.
and I'll take a photograph of it.
Okay, you can do the thing.
I promise I won't drop it.
Okay, so we have first-time feedbacker now, Harriet Ellis.
First-time feedback.
Exactly. Welcome to the family, Harriet. And I will attempt to not fuck up your feedback too much. And Harriet writes, "Hey, Black Doggers. I felt forced to write feedback for this film because of how dreadful and god-awful this film really is. And as Darren said, I'd forgotten how sexist this film is. Yep, there it is. But that's not the only really bad thing in this film, especially when you realise that the author, Roger Zelazny, hated the film version of this book. It's easy to understand why, although I'm curious to find out if the book is as bad. The script is terrible, and the concept reminded me of a poor man's Mad Max, and could not have been done well, if not for the simple fact that the script added a female character who is so bad it's not even laughably funny. It's just frustratingly terrible, and shouting at the screen, asking, "Why? Just why?" is what I spent most of this film doing. And yes,
Join the club.
Indeed. And yes, I know Mad Max came after this, but that was just so much better. It showed how to do things right, or mostly right. More right than anything in this film achieved. First, you have the usual leader character from George Peppard before he did the A-Team, Major Eugene Denton. And they underused his character, as to me, he was the only fairly good part of this film. The Playboy character, Tanner, very much like Face from the A-Team, is stupid, annoying, and mostly the cause of me shouting at the screen, going, "Why the hell would you do that?" Quite simply, he pretty much ruined the film for me. I'd say the bits in between the credits were the bits that ruined this film for me.
Pretty much.
There you go. Then you add in a female character who needs rescuing. I'm just going to stop right there before I go into a rant about how bloody stupid her character is. Adding in the attempted rape scene. Yeah, because every female needs rescuing. She'd have been better staying in the bloody casino and not joining them. Lots of eye rolling. The usual lost kid was passably likeable, but they could have developed his character a lot more. And I've just realised that was Jackie Earle Haley before he became famous. So that would be why I kind of liked his character. The Giant's bugs did actually make me laugh at how stupidly bad they were, and how they killed some of the annoying characters to begin with. So there was some cheering from me on that part. Yeah, it must be really, really terrible to be an actor and know that you got killed by a bad special effect. You know?
Not even a good one.
No. Not even a good one at all.
Hit me.
The usual bad guys who somehow have guns. Oh, right, this is America. Cue more eye rolling. And haven't run out of bullets yet, despite it having gone on for 2 years. These guys are typical arseholes who try and rape the only female character in the film. Cue even more eye rolling. My two biggest pet peeves are over this film are: one, the lack of fuel for the vehicle, which, although cool, my reaction for the whole film is, how the hell is that thing still running? And the motorbike as well. I mean, what's the fucking point of that? 2, the part that got me the most, the guys arrive at this casino in the middle of fucking nowhere, and the first thing they do is play slot machines and win money that they have no way of spending. I mean, what the hell are they fucking doing? They'd have been so much better checking out the building for supplies, where, lo and behold, a lone female character turns up. Okay, that's enough for me. Better stop now before this becomes endless. Anyway, keep up the good work, guys. Thanks, Harriet.
Well, thank you very much for that, Harriet. Thank you for your first piece of feedback, and
Indeed.
well done, Darren. You managed to not screw it up
Not
either.
totally screwed that
It
up.
was good.
Thank
And
you.
I've also uploaded some more photos to
Oh, you
the
have?
Facebook group there of the pointy bit and the ramp.
The pointy bit and the ramp
There you go, and the roof.
and the roof.
So thank you for that, Harriet. Yeah, it's a bloody awful film. I agree. I can't disagree with that at all. So there you go. Well, thank you very much. So let's move on to you, Elton. Who do you have first?
I have Pete and Anne-Marie Organ there here.
Ah, they've written in this time instead of MP3'd.
That's right, yes. And they say, "Hi guys, Anne-Marie and Pete here. We watched Damnation Alley as a family and we all agreed it was terrible with probably shit science, but we had a laugh watching it. I can see me buying this on DVD as a guilty pleasure. Of course. Yeah, there's the twist, plot twist. Of course, I'd be better be careful I don't die of a heart attack in 6 months' time because I'm in denial like the owners of the Vegas circus tent. But then if Trump declares war on North Korea, the resulting explosions will tilt the Earth back to its right axis and everything will be fine. Cheers for your excellent podcast and see you at the shindig, Anne-Marie."
Well, there you go. Thank you very much for that. So, and ending on a hopeful note that the war, a potential nuclear war with North Korea, will right any problems that Damnation Alley causes.
Yes.
Always good. It's always
That's one way to set your life off in a good step, isn't it?
It is. Actually, if they throw nukes, it might not be a bad thing. Just that puts a spring in your step, doesn't it? Anyway, right. So I will come back to your thing at the moment, Darryl.
The cock rocket is complete.
The cock rocket.
Yep.
I will take a photograph of that in a minute. But anyway,
Thank you very much.
I will move on to the feedback. Thank you very much for that, Anne-Marie. Thank you very much for that. I'm guessing Pete's in the background somewhere. And you can hear more of them on the broadcast, which is on Geek Planet Online and on iTunes. Right, so next one. My next piece of feedback is from Griffin Medill. And he writes the following. Hello, folks. Damnation Alley was a mystery monocle for me in more ways than one, though I picked up a copy of the book when I was a young'un, and I never did get round to reading it. I was vaguely aware of the premise, and its being part of the thematic influences that linked to films such as Mad Max 2 and Battle Truck. Do you know Battle Truck?
I know Battle Truck. I was going to put Battle Truck on there, but
Yeah?
I didn't.
Yeah. Good. Based on this, good. Not to mention the Cursed Earth saga. Yes, absolutely. Which was serialized long ago in 2000 AD. Interesting to note that this came out the same year as Star Wars, which can't have done the film any favours given its sub-1950s optical effects. Indeed, Damnation Alley does have a very 1950s feel and can almost be described as a Disney-esque if one set aside the face-eating cockroaches and the occasional implicit threats of rape. I looked up the director Jack Smite and found that he had directed not only Frankenstein the True Story, but also one of the original Airport cycle of cinematic disaster soaps. This might help explain the bland TV movie-like matter-of-fact presentation and the lack of background music early on. The nuclear strike that kicks things off is handled with seemingly intentional lack of drama, and the only exposition we get is after the fact is that the unusual touch of a block of on-screen text about 15 minutes in. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, they just couldn't be bothered, could they? Just rather than explain anything, they just went, "Oh, there's a bit of text. Things happened. Carry on." Anyway, Griffin carries on. He says the cast is interesting, and I was delighted to see Paul Winfield in there. Though I recognise the genre stalwart James Karen as the general, but it also turned out to be Murray Hamilton. Similarly, I kept thinking that George Peppard looked more like William H. Macy. Peppard chomped cigars long before he would become famous doing so in the A-Team, but is rocking a horrible haircut and a worse moustache on a ludicrous comedy accident. "Tanner, I need your hip. Tanner, get off the back and come up here," etc. The cast is interesting for as much as who they would become as what they were at the time. Jackie Earle Haley was a former Bad News Bear and future Freddy Krueger, and put his pitching arm from the former into good use when lobbing rocks at everyone. As an aside, I'm sure he was thrilled with the closing credits that play over a freeze frame in which he looks like he's just shat his pants. Another factoid, Peppard was an alcoholic at the time, while Jan Michael Vincent would take up the bottle in style much later on. The truck looked fairly impressive. I'd guess this would be some sort of repurposed military vehicle, and they only had one of them, since I don't recall ever seeing both in one shot. In closing, I really actually enjoyed this film. It's light, breezy 91 minutes that never seems like a chore. I'd be curious to see the lost footage, but I suspect it might just drag the pace down, if ever found and restored. Quite enjoyed the early electronic score as well. And that's all from me. Adios, Griffin Medill. Well, thank you very much for that, sir. You are unique in the pantheon of feedbackers and hosts, insofar as you're the only one who said he's actually enjoyed it.
Yes.
So, well done. Fair enough. So, good feedback. Thank you, sir, and hopefully hear from you soon. So, Jim, who do we have next?
Next, we have the lone animator, Richard Svensson.
Ah, the lone animator. I knew I was supposed to have another thing queued up. Should be going... Oh, God. Don't have it. Where is it? Lone Ranger theme. Go on, you
the kazoo, quickly.
I've got a kazoo if you want it.
No.
Shall I get the kazoo out?
No.
You can leave yourself behind.
Yes. Hold on. Here we go. Go on in.
Right.
Here we go.
Greetings, gentlemen and gentle fowl of the Black Dog podcast. I regret I haven't been able to check in with you for many a movie, but life has been keeping me busy with all sorts of jolly things.
Yep.
Mostly cleaning out, fixing up, and selling of my grandmother's farm.
Ah.
If any of you have to deal with something like that, you know it's not only a time-consuming task, but also a rather depressing one. With luck, then, I can now delve into the uplifting subject of post-apocalyptic drama. I fully grasp the concept of the Jessica Fletcher apocalypse season, and oh my, what a cozy picture Damnation Alley paints of post-nuclear hell. John Michael Vincent and Paul Winfield sing gospel together, and George Peppard is wearing his best Freddie Mercury joke shop mustache. Have fun getting chased by stupid giant mutant scorpions. Stop by entombed Las Vegas and have an ironic hand of blackjack with your buddies. Best of all, jump into your souped-up tank Winnebago and go for a drive. And keep driving. And driving. And driving. All in all, the worst fault I can find with Damnation Alley is that it's a bloody drag. Jerry Goldsmith's capably dramatic music tries to tell me that danger and drama is afoot, but I only feel underwhelmed. As for the special effects, the elephant in the room for all films of this kind, they are enthusiastically employed but barely capable. Mm-hmm. The blue screen work is curiously horrendous, and the big bugs look like escapees from a 1960s Burt I. Gordon pick. However, I do like the miniature work on the gas explosion and the colourful skies, which apparently added a further 10 months of post-production. And I'm guessing a few sweet dollars into the already strained budget. The movie looks and feels like an ambitious TV show episode, but that's all it achieves. The saving grace for me is the actors. Peppard seems to be channeling Hannibal Smith's in perpetual asshole mode, while Vincent is surprisingly good, sadly reminding me of what a shitstorm his life eventually turned into. Best in show is, not surprisingly, Paul Winfield, providing the most human and believable element in this preposterous yarn. As I understand it, Damnation Alley had a troubled production, to say the least, even though it had the confidence of 20th Century Fox executives. The little engine that could, Star Wars, didn't have that support, worked on a lesser budget, and a drastically shorter production time, but came out superior in every way you choose to look at it. Pointing out what a seminal movie Star Wars was compared to its contemporary peers is a worn and by now unnecessary statement, but it can't be overemphasized. It was made with a laser-like focus and a determination that Damnation Alley sorely lacks. I read Roger Zelazny's novel long before I saw the movie, and, like the author probably was, I was taken aback with the differences between the book and the film. Like a few other Zelazny heroes, the Tanner of the novel, the appropriately named Hell Tanner, is a macho asshole, but both he and the plot of this movie are infinitely more interesting than the story presented in the film version. I'm not sorry that Damnation Alley exists. It's a goofy movie, flaunting its enthusiasm in the face of its subject matter, like a little kid happily doing the propeller at a family dinner. I just wish the movie was better. Cheerio, gents, and looking forward to your next entry in our delightful movie retrospective.
Mm. Well, thank you very much for that, sir. Good feedback. Yeah, it's a bloody drag. He's absolutely right. Yeah, underwhelming. I think that, and the other thing is we haven't really touched upon Star Wars, have we? Really? I mean, at the end of the day, you can't really get past the fact that, as you rightly said, Jim, it had a budget as same as Star Wars, and yet looked like something out, like a sort of outtake from a fever dream from Heart to Heart.
Very much so. I mean, it was, when I was watching it, I was just going, how was this made at the same time as Star Wars? Because if you sat someone down, they would think there was a gulf of years between them.
Rather than months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, well, thank you very much for that, sir. Thank you very much for that, Richard. And I'm pretty sure it's loneanimator.blogspot.com, isn't it? I believe.
Yes.
That's,
so.
Yep. So do check his work out. And I don't know what's going on with the farm thing, but good luck. Selling Grandmum's farm. Wow. I don't even know what that would involve, apart from just putting a post up and going, anybody? Hello? Farm for sale. But anyway, hopefully, whatever that's all about, hopefully you get it sorted soon, sir, and it's not too bad. Right. Thank you very much for that, and let's move on. So, Darren, who do you have next?
I have Murray Christensen.
The Pie Man, and what does he have to say?
Indeed. And he writes, "Hi, guys. So,
Hi.
Jessica Fletcher's Guide to the Apocalypse trundles slowly on like a shonky tank thing. In truth, I think people who made this film would count a cheap Murder, She Wrote episode budget as untold riches. They may even have found a way to have two Landmasters on screen at once." Well, actually, they did.
Well, did they, though, or was that an effect? Because the camera was locked off.
Yeah, it could be, I suppose. Apologies if I ramble, but I'm feeling a bit grubby. Is this related to watching Damnation Alley or spending time in Walsall? Who knows?
Well,
Toss up.
50-50.
Anyway, basic plot is Stringfellow Hawk, Hannibal Smith, and Hannibal Smith's moustache drive across a post-apocalyptic America to see if anybody has survived. On their journey, they will face killer cockroaches, psychotic hillbillies, sub-1960s Doctor Who, CSO, and stock footage, so much stock footage. The cheapness really shines through in this. You can tell they spent all the money on the Landmaster and a false moustache, and admittedly the moustache is quite impressive. The Landmaster is the sort of thing I would have designed when I was about 10, but the big model doesn't look so bad. The model impresses less particularly when you remember that the Thunderbirds were doing this better years before. My heart fell when they said it could function in water. Making models in water not look shit is really hard, and even at that point I quite correctly assumed that the people behind this could not carry it off. So the most interesting part of this was when we get to see the apocalypse happen. And indeed, with our heroes initially working in Missile Command, you would think that there was some good character fodder there, which is almost entirely ignored in favour of using the setup to let us know that Hannibal doesn't like Hawk. The characters had actual names. The characters had actual names. I know, but they didn't stick.
No.
Why? Well, they weren't really clear on that. Indeed, a better film would have been one that happened in the weeks and months after the base, but we missed that. and most of the base are wiped out because the guy who can't read warning signs. Instead, we have something that is almost episodic. The Landmaster bumbles from crisis to crisis until they reach the destination, then it ends. There was so much padding. Had Stringfellow Hawk demanded a certain amount of motorbike riding in his contract? There was so much of him dicking about, riding around towns, avoiding badly blue-screened stock footage scorpions, and generally making me hate the irritating buzzing of the bloody thing's engine. So, I didn't like this. However, if you want to solve the horror, I'd like to think that we cut away just before the nice town folks they meet are them. What's that?
They meet ate them.
Oh, yeah, 8. Sorry, he's put
Probably,
are them.
probably,
Meet
probably
8
had
them.
typo. Yeah.
So we're still apocalypsing. I've attached some spikes to my hard hat, so my apocalypse suit is coming on nicely. Keep up the good work, Murray Pieman Christensen.
Thank you very much for that, sir. Good feedback as always.
Just remember, Ron always reads what's on the teleprompter.
Yeah, he does always. It's Go fuck yourself, San Diego. Yeah, I'm wrong, Burgundy. Yeah, so there you go. There's another support for the fact that 2 frames later the entire village of hillbillies ate the lot.
Yep.
Actually, that's another thing. What was the deal with the lady on the radio? I mean, all of that was just like very trusting. It's like, hey, you've got a radio. I've got a radio too. Come visit us.
Are you sure you're not cannibals?
Are you sure you're not going to eat us all?
You don't sound like you're not wearing leather or a ski mask.
Yeah, exactly.
You promise not to eat us. You
We
promise.
do have a dress code. No assless chaps. And no welding masks.
Does your name contain either the words Lord or humongous?
If so, please reconsider.
Please fuck off.
Our destination is, and give them a direction to a cliff.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, and I love the fact that they got these GPS coordinates, and it's like GPS coordinates on a planet that's turned 90 degrees.
Yeah,
like-
it's on the wonk, isn't it?
It's on the wonk. The whole planet's on the wonk. How the fuck can you do latitude and longitude on GPS coordinates on a planet where clearly all the satellites and everything are in completely different places? Ugh, never mind. It's all
Shut up,
bollocks.
that's why.
It's all bollocks. It's complete and utter toss wank. I just wasted my life. Anyway, moving on. Thank you very much for that, Murray. And Elton, what about you, sir?
Okay, here I have Keldor.
Keldor the Mighty. And what does she have to say?
She says, "Hi guys. I hope everyone had a good holiday, but I guess I'll have heard all about that earlier in this podcast. Well, here's what I thought about Damnation Alley. I like the beginning with the banter, the art, and the chess. The radiation scorpions were huge. The flexi tank, Darren, flexi tank.
Flexi tank, is that what we're calling it now?
The flexi tank with 4 lots of triangle rotable wheels were different.
It's Lord Humongous's flexi bus. That's what it is.
Lord Humongous.
P16.
Yep. Yes, the P16.
What's a
The
P16?
B6. It's a bus round Welling. It's one of those little buses.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so Lord Humongous's bendy bus. It's the B16
Nice.
going from Welling Corner to Bexley Heath Shopping Centre.
That's right. Anyway, Keldor continues. At first, I thought a good normal-sized cockroach, but then
I'm glad
as the
you said
film
roach
went
on the end of that.
Sorry.
I'm glad you stuck roach on the end of that really quickly. A pause could have gone really wrong.
I'm not going to do it again. But then, as the film went on, I realised size isn't everything.
Well, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
The sky effects were quite freaky. To me, the happy ending seemed highly unlikely. I don't think I'll be rushing to watch this again soon, but I have no real complaints about watching it. Bye for now, Keldor.
Well, thank you very much for that, Keldor. That's yeah, that's interesting. You can sit next to Griffin and watch this film again until you understand. It's fine. Fair enough. Yeah. Do you know what? I get a sense that if you watch this on a Sunday afternoon, with your lungs full of roast dinner and meat, you probably just watch that and just wouldn't have a problem.
No, because you couldn't reach the remote control.
Probably.
Just out of reach, and you'd be like, no, I can't be bothered.
Yeah. Oh, bollocks to it. I'll just watch this rubbish. It'll be over in 18 minutes. Right, okay. Well, thank you very much for that, Kildor. Glad you didn't have too much of a problem with it. So I'm going to move on to my last bit of written feedback, and that's from Steve Bob. And he writes, message for the attention of 20th Century Fox Board of Directors. Okay, the good news is that I've managed to get George Peppard and Jan-Michael Vincent on board for the project. I've constructed an actual Landmaster vehicle for $350,000, and I've got Jerry Goldsmith to do the music. Bad news is we don't have enough budget for a decent script or anything else, but my mate Chad has a motorbike, and we can borrow it. We also have a couple of scorpions and a magnifying glass, as well as a box of cockroaches. I think we can do this. Yours faithfully, Director Jack Smite. That's it. That's the feedback right there. Thank you very much for that, Steve. Do you know what? I don't reckon that was a parody. I reckon that was actually a thing.
I think so.
I think it was. I think that was real. But thank you very much for that, Steve Bob. Yeah, good feedback. And I don't think he liked it, to be honest.
Really?
No, it's odd that. And now it's on to our last bit of written feedback, and that is Jim.
It is Dr. Scum himself.
Ah, yes. We
Not
posed...
present at the shindig, but was sort of by eldritch means.
I was going to say, we all posed with his books.
We did, yes.
Do we end up as a cover quote now? Saying things. If we say something about his book,
I think so.
do we end up as a cover quote for the next edition?
I licked one of his books. I've got a picture of me doing so.
So go on, give a cover
There's
quote.
a full quote for you.
His books are tasty.
I licked one,
Yes.
and I didn't hate it.
I licked one, and I didn't get a strange disease on my tongue.
5 stars.
5 stars.
I held one up to my face, and I saw words. Brilliant. 6 stars out of 4. Lee Metcalf, Black Dog Podcast. Anyway, sorry.
Best dog ears in town. 10 stars.
Out of 3.
Elton McManus. You got a pull quote? Go on, Jim. This is your moment. Get a pull quote.
Well, that says it all, really.
I think so. It is both succinct and yet it says so much.
Of course.
Mr. Owl, 12 stars. Anyway, go on in, Jim. What does Fred and his books and lovecraftianscience.wordpress.com have to say about this film?
Hello, Black Dog. I hope all is well and hope everyone had a relaxing sabbatical.
Mm-hmm.
I remember as a kid going with my family to see Damnation Alley at the drive-in theatre. That was the last time I saw it, and the only thing I remember were the large scorpions and the big track vehicle.
I thought he was going to say that was the last time he saw his family.
So thankfully the email doesn't take that dark turn.
No, thank Christ.
By the way, I had that toy as a kid and loved it. The tone of the film
So did
fluctuates quite a bit from scene to scene. For example, while the first 10 to 15 minutes are very serious and dark with obvious nuclear annihilation, the scene with the scorpions and the dummy was borderline goofy. Later on, the film settles into a PG-13 version of The Walking Dead. In fact, most of the film feels like an episode of The Walking Dead, replacing zombies with cannibalistic cockroaches. And then there's the whole Earth off its axis part. I'm not sure if a nuclear war would result in throwing the Earth off its axis. I think a nuclear winter would be more likely. But let's assume that the tilt in the world had increased after the war. A slight increase in the tilt, say from its existing 23.5 degrees to 25 degrees, would have devastating impacts on the world. Arctic climate would move southward by approximately 100 miles, while the tropic climate would move northwards by approximately 100 miles too. The net result would be a reduction of the temperate climate where most people live and where most of the world's food is grown. Not sure if large storms would be another side effect of an increase in its tilt, but the frequent appearance of the aurora borealis was a nice effect. However, the flood seems to come out of nowhere. I am assuming a super tsunami must have come in from the coast. The boy did mention a few times the hum of an engine or the sound of wind when they were in the junkyard. Overall, a slightly entertaining 1970s apocalyptic movie that was worth a rewatch for historical purposes, but I have no intention of rewatching it anytime soon. Thank you, Black Dog, and I will be in San Diego, California next week, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to provide feedback. Read Dr. Scum, love now. P.S. Met Justin Woodman at the Necronomicon in Providence, Rhode Island. Had dinner and drinks with him and others on Saturday night at the conference. It was a sort of mini shindig in the colonies. Gave a few talks at the conference and overall had a great time.
Excellent, and thank you very much for that, sir. Yes, and we did meet Justin Woodman. And he was like Phil Collins at Live Aid.
Yes.
He did a shindig over in the
Overseas.
States,
Yep.
and he came over here and then did a shindig over here. Ah, look at that, see? Fucking Live Aid, we shit 'em. See?
He's a,
There we go.
he's a horror lover.
So, well, thank you very much for that anyway, Fred. I tell you what, we could. This is going to turn into one of those stalking things, isn't it? It's like wherever Fred turns up, now he tells us where he is.
Yeah.
We just say, if anyone's in San Diego,
Go see him.
go see Fred.
We've touched Fred, or Justin, who's touched Fred, so it's like electricity, and you'll feel it
Yes.
through him.
Yes, exactly.
He's a conduit.
You can communicate to us through Fred
Yes.
if you're in San Diego.
You can speak to him. You can speak to us through Fred. Which part of Fred do you use? We're not quite sure, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thank you very much for that, Fred, and good feedback, sir. And yeah, I think everyone enjoyed the toy of the bloody car more than anything else.
I think so. It was a merchandising fucking giant. That was. If they had sold that, they would have made a mint.
By the way, apparently, yeah, because Fred was talking about the whole thing about the planet tilting on this axis.
Mm-hmm.
That obviously is utterly ridiculous. But did you know? And this was a fact I found out, and at the time, and I was going to say, well, I'm going to remember that because to prove that this is even more stupid. But if the Earth suddenly stopped, everything would fly forward. Just the inertia would fly forward at 1,000 miles an hour. It would just be like everything would just like shift at 1,000 miles an hour. I just suddenly thought, if you suddenly tilt everything on its axis, you're literally throwing the Earth off sideways. So, yeah, it wouldn't be just nuclear winter. It would be the Earth actually spinning off of its orbit. You'd probably just fly away from the sun.
It'd be like Space 1999.
Exactly, which happened today.
Did it?
In 1999, September 13th.
That it keeps telling you at the beginning of the very first episode. September
Exactly.
13th, 1999.
That's right. We're now in September 13th.
Yeah. Does that the very
Look out the window. Is the moon there?
Does the very first episode? It is in the very first episode of UFO as well.
Does it?
Yeah.
What?
The credit every 2 seconds you get a reminder that it's in the future.
In the future.
Well, it's in our past, but it's 1980. It does that all the time.
Anyway, well, thank you very much for that, Fred, and thank you very moving on, sorry. Thank you very much for that, Fred, and thank you for the interesting stuff about the planet moving really quickly being a complete pile of old balls. But, big Trek vehicle. Anyway, so thank you again, and enjoy San Diego, and avoid any black doggers that approach you in San Diego. They're probably not right. So let's move on to our last piece of feedback. And our last piece of feedback is an MP3 feedback, which is Michael Cornett and the Belly Stapler, our man in Baltimore. And I don't know, maybe our man in the tapioca mines of Phobos, Voldar, but we'll have to wait and see.
We will.
So let's hear what he has to say, or they have to say, about Damnation Alley.
Oh, good evening, Black Doggers. Good evening to Lee, Darren, Jim, and Elton. This is Mike Cornett, the Belly Stapler.
This is Voldar, the, something other stapler, I guess.
And it's time for that wonderful film, Damnation Alley.
Damnation indeed.
Yeah. Oh, Lordy, I saw this movie like 30 years ago. A friend had it on video, and he was part of this group of friends I had who just were creaming their jeans over anything post-apocalyptic.
Really? People were into that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it was just idiotic and depressing and boring.
That makes no sense. Why would they get off on that?
I don't know, Voldar. I don't know.
Alright.
Yeah, I mean, they watched this and all that, and just back then it seemed stupid. Now it seems really stupid.
There's just so much about it that makes no sense. I mean, there's no build-up to the war at the beginning. It just happens. It's like a game almost. And then there's no sense of any real tragedy of any of this happening. Everyone's just like, whatever. And it's so cheap looking.
Yes, this apparently was a very expensive film to make.
And it looks cheap.
Yeah. I mean, this really looks like almost like a pilot for a TV series.
Yeah, that's really it. It just looks like a cheap pilot for an NBC TV series.
NBC, particularly.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I just can't believe it. Where did all the money go? I guess it went into the laser effects they used for the sky, which now looks so dated. It's ridiculous.
And that vehicle.
Oh, yeah, the vehicle. And that takes me back. I realize this is made in 1977. And that's when the U.S. was really in the grip of this trucker mania. I remember this.
Trucker mania?
Yeah. You know, on Earth, we use trucks to transport goods back and forth. And for a while in the 1970s, it was considered almost sexy and romantic to be a truck driver. And everyone was learning CB lingo. 10-4, good buddy. Let them truckers roll. You know, all that kind of stuff. There were songs on the radio about trucks and trucking and convoys. We got a little convoy. You know, fuck that shit. And TV shows and movies about trucks. Trucks. And even the Boy Scouts of America back then had a truck transportation merit badge.
You're joking.
I'm not. It's real. It was in my Boy Scout manual. I thought it was idiotic.
That can't be true.
They did. It's been discontinued since then. I think it was just a caving in to 70s trucker mania. But yeah, I just saw this as, this is just an extension of 70s trucker mania, just given a sci-fi post-apocalyptic setting. And it's just people driving around in a truck. And that was like, I guess they thought that would suffice.
There's just these long scenes of them just driving around in the goddamn thing. I guess they're getting their money's worth from it. But it doesn't propel the story at all, and it looks cheap. I mean, they're just in there driving around. Drive.
Exactly. It's a really dull, silly film, and it's really sad when apparently, as I've read, this was a big budget tentpole release. They had high expectations of this thing. And they unleashed this cheap-looking piece of shit on the public.
Cheap-looking piece of shit indeed. Just stupid. I didn't like it. Except the giant scorpions. They were fun. And I hope they would kill that I don't know. That guy with 3 first names.
Yeah. He's someone whose career didn't last the 70s. George Peppard just cracks me up. He's obviously gearing up for the A-Team, which a show I hated. I thought it was so stupid. But, yeah. So, anyway, that's pretty much it. Damnation Alley.
Damn it to hell.
Yep. Damn it to hell. So, Anyway, that's all for now, guys. Can't wait for the next cinematic atrocity to be unleashed on the world. I'll see you later. How about you, Volder?
I'll be fine. Still minding tapioca, although I have a parole hearing in a month or two.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Do you need witnesses?
No.
All right. Anyway, I'll see you later. Mwah. Bye.
Yeah, bye from Mars, Phobos, whatever. I'm confused. It's been a long day. I'm tired. Oh, bye.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much for that. Yes, I have to say, cheap is definitely the word.
Mm-hmm.
And shit is definitely another word. And once again, yeah, they definitely wanted their money from that truck, didn't they? They just want to show that truck all the time. Just why? It was a boring truck. I know you guys seem to have liked it, and Darren's homage is obviously coming along quite nicely.
But it's the best
Bloody
part
finished.
What do you mean it's finished?
It's finished. That's it. Put your fucking ash on the top. Look.
God.
That Lego figure is looking at you going, please kill me.
You fucking should be.
I've got a truck growing out of what was my legs.
He looks like an extra from Das Boot now. So what were you sorry, what were you saying, Elton?
It was the best part of the film, the truck.
Was it though? Because it wasn't. It just looked boring. Never mind. Doesn't matter. We've done it. We've done it. We've gone round the houses. We've done it.
It steers.
It does steer, and it has a flexible
like
middle.
Other smaller variations of that don't.
Yeah. For what it's worth, he's only got 10 wheels instead of 14 as well. So that's all I'm saying. What are you looking at me like that for? He's looking at me weird. I'm hoping he's gone to sleep with his eyes open like a goldfish.
Criticising my art again.
Oh,
fuck you, Metcalf. Fuck you.
Okay. I just like to remind you, you're sitting within like 3 feet of a Saturn V, an almost perfect recreation of the Saturn V rocket,
which you built from instructions.
Yeah.
There you go. You see, you weren't riffing off of just nothingness, were you? You weren't just building from the imagination. You just followed a set of instructions that of pre-shaped bricks. Okay, so don't stand there giving me all this. Look how creative I am, bollocks. All right.
Touchy.
Yeah, like aha. I'm fucking touchy.
Anyway, so that's the end of Damnation Alley. Yeah, that truck. And thank you very much for that, Michael. Thank you very much for that, Voldar. Yeah, you can read more of Michael's stuff over at dustandcorruption.blogspot.com. And yeah, that's about that. So I guess it's just time for us to wrap it up and yeah, tell you what we're doing next week. Next week, Jessica Fletcher's Guide to the Apocalypse continues with another film that I haven't seen, which also stars Jason Robards, I believe.
Yep, it certainly does.
So we're getting a theme going on here.
A mark of quality is if Jason Robards is in it.
Yeah,
if it's post-apocalyptic,
as I can tell from Boy and His Dog and was it Once Upon a Time in the West?
Oh yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Do you want to tell everyone what this is? Because I have no clue. I've never seen this thing in my life.
I certainly will. In the UK, we had possibly one of the most frightening films ever consigned to film, which was a docudrama called Threads. It was the one film that actually increased CND's membership tenfold. People saw this. It was so scary. It was such a stark vision of what would happen after a nuclear attack on Britain that people shit themselves and just joined the movement for unilateral disarmament. They just went there in droves. It really did cause quite an effect. And I must admit, I've watched that only twice in my life, And every time I've had to walk outside after watching it, just to hear the birds singing, look how blue the sky is. Just remember that, this hasn't happened, and that we're living in a world where a nuclear exchange hasn't actually taken place yet. The day after is the Jessica Fletcherized, or should I say the Angela Lansbury version. No, it is Jessica Fletcher, isn't it? Yeah, which fucking character?
Came up with this idea.
I can't even fucking remember now. No, it is Jessica. It's Jessica Fletcher's version of Threads. Okay, which means it's not scary at all. It's not realistic. It's a bit
shit.
It's basically. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's got in it. It's got that bloke from fucking Police Academy in it, Steve
Guttenberg.
Yeah, Steve Guttenberg's in this. Okay, Steve Guttenberg and Jason Robards, two forces.
Two mighty giants of straight-to-TV cinema.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, so...
striding like colossi across the landscape.
Exactly. It is...
Britain's greatest actors.
It's like a soap, only with more scabs in it. Right? That's what it's like.
Like a soap, but with a pube on the end.
The day after was literally America's answer to Threads, and it's just... It's not good at all. It's too soapified. It is extremely soapified vision of the after effects of a nuclear war.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why are we watching this?
I told you, this is a Jessica Fletcher Guide to the Apocalypse. Okay?
Okay.
It's all the stuff that would have been made on the backlot of Murder, She Wrote.
Okay.
By the team that made Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah. Starring the entire background cast of Murder, She Wrote.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Or Diagnosis Murder. There we go.
Okay.
Should have called it Dick Van Dyke's Guide to the Apocalypse.
Oi! So, Jim, have you seen this film?
No, I don't think I have. If I have, I've blanked it from my mind.
That's a good
I
start.
suspect for good reason.
Yes.
In which case, I'm almost afraid to ask at this point, but Elton... have you seen this?
No, I haven't. So you're right. Although, funny enough, I'm just scanning over IMDb. It's got 7.1 out of 10 on there.
It's nowhere near as bad as Damnation Alley, trust me.
What did Damnation Alley get on IMDb?
I think it was in the 5s.
Don't listen to IMDb, it lies. Okay? As we found out, it fucking lies.
Okay, so the poster says they told us it was impossible to make this movie. They told us it would be impossible for you to watch it. We hope nothing is impossible. What?
What does
What a
that mean?
load of old bollocks.
What does that even mean?
It means
They told us it was
bollocks.
impossible for us to make this movie. We hope nothing's impossible. What? What the fuck?
That's
God,
a stupid poster.
Is that a good indication of the writing in this?
Yeah.
Thing.
It's almost Days of Our Lives meets a nuclear exchange.
So if I remember rightly, I always think of this movie as having the sort of same relationship as We Are the World as to Band-Aid.
Yeah, it's a bit like that.
Britain, we did Threads.
Yeah.
And they thought, well, we need a big drama about a nuclear apocalypse, and they came up with the day after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if we wanted to do the other way, the flip side, and go, really fucking depressing apocalypse movies, then we'd be watching Threads. That would be the fucking shitty cherry on a big cake, because, yeah, Threads is not a film you want to watch unless it is you've got some comedy ready to go.
One day, my friend, one day.
Well, there you go. Apparently, it had the same effect as Threads, by the sound of it.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, apparently John Cullen warned viewers before the film was premiered that the film contains graphic and disturbing scenes and encouraged parents with young children watching it to watch together and discuss the issues of nuclear warfare. ABC and local TV affiliates opened up 0800 hotlines, 1-800 hotlines, with counsellors standing by. There were no commercial breaks after the nuclear attack section, and ABC aired a live debate with Ted Koppel, featuring Carl Sagan and Secretary of State Henry Kissinger afterwards.
I'm sorry, the difference in endings between this and Threads are miles apart.
Well, I haven't seen Threads either, so
You've never seen Threads?
nope. All I've seen is a picture of a traffic warden with a bandage around his head.
Yeah, one of the people that he's having a go at makes a comment about that as well.
Okay, fair enough. Right, so there you go. The day after, if you want to watch this, is it on YouTube? Is that one of our things? It is on YouTube.
They're all on YouTube, every single one of them.
So if you want to watch this and send in feedback, do so. Send it into feedback@blackdogpodcast.com. Or leave it on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/group/the Black Dog Podcast, or let us know in 140 characters on the Twitterverse, which I'm currently keeping my toe slightly in the water of, which is at Black Dog Podcast. Or you can send us feedback through the actual website, which is, take a guess, blackdogpodcast.com. Go to the Contact Us page. And that's it, really. Before we go, Jim, do you want to tout your wares, sir?
Yes, you can hear me on my own show, Hypnagoria, every week. And I'm currently working on this week's show, which is going to be a tribute to the late, great Len Wein, legendary comic book writer who created Wolverine, Swamp Thing, and had seminal runs on huge comic books such as X-Men, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, the Hulk, and Batman.
God, and who happened to once again cark it within the same month.
Yes.
Yeah, so no disrespect meant, but you could do with people just staying alive for a month.
It could. It makes a lot of work for me. It's particularly sad, the thing going in pairs with Tobe Hooper and George Romero, and we lost Bernie Wrightson earlier this year, who led and created Swamp Thing with, and it's kind of, oh my God, they're going in twos now. I thought last year was bad, but...
Yeah, I know, it's getting worse, isn't it? Okay, and Elton, what about your stuff, sir?
You can catch me on the Grand Prix podcast, the Band of Brothers podcast, and Shonky Lab, which can all be found on the iTunes and other places that you can pick up podcasts.
Excellent. Right. Okay, and finally, Darren.
Yes.
Your Lego set will be transmitted to Lego Ideas.
Good.
And we'll have a Damnation Alley model before you know it.
Fantastic.
Right.
Be on the shelves by Christmas.
Right then. So, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Elton. Thank you, Darren. And thank you, everyone who sent in feedback and watched this terrible, bloody movie. And we'll see you all next week for The Day After. Another really cheerful film. Until then, take care, and we'll see you all soon. Tatty bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
How does it turn, Darren?
Fuck you, Elton.